Peace, 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 people. Today, I want to talk a little bit about spirituality. With the ordeal going on with Gambia, possible witchcraft and whatnot, I think that a lot of times we don't speak about what types of spirits could be vexing people. How do people get vexed? Why is it so hard for us to be decisive? From procrastinating and whatnot. It could be the spirit of procrastination. It could be maybe you're distracted by somebody that you shouldn't be distracted by. There's various reasons why a person could just be full of another type of spirit that is not of God, that is not good for them, that's not a benefit to them. And so when you look at what the world is going through right now, and so many different changes are happening so suddenly, a lot of people are having a hard time adapting to these changes. And so a lot of people are getting picked off, or their emotions are out of hand to where that they can't control what is going on with them or their surroundings, their environment. So what do? I mean, most people turn to prayer, they turn to the Bible, or they work out. Some do poetry, some do music. But now it's getting to the point where people don't really want to do those types of things. And so they do negative things as a way of distraction, like drinking, doing drugs, having sex, stuff to distract you, stuff to pull you away from what is going on around you. So yeah, I want to play this video of this old pimp. I don't know if he's still around or not. His name was Pimpin' Clyde. And one time they caught him kind of in a weird like moment. I think he's kind of high right here. But this reminds me of the scattered brainness that a lot of us are exhibiting. Being confused, you don't know which way is up or down. You're just kind of like all over the place. And this spirit of him, which it might be a drug, it's still, you'll check out the spirit. Let's look at this.
What's up, everybody? Make sure you hit the like button and make sure you smash that subscribe button. Lying to them all day, and they go for that shit. Nigga, I be that bitch so. Like, I'm gonna tell y'all this story. Just the other day, I've been going hard on my hoe. In front of some kids, true story, just yesterday. Man, fuck this bitch. This bitch took out on one. Like, I just took the hoe in the whole situation. And I
See, this is the worst way to be. This type of person right now is being overtaken by the spirit of drugs. But you know, when you do drugs, you are full of a whole lot of other emotions, and he is spinning out of control right here. But there's a lot of people that look like this, but in the inside look like this, but it's their mind looking like this. Look like this, but it's their heart looking like this. Their spirit reeks of this type of strange energy, strange vibration, strange spirit, strange a hex of some sort.
She takes that and uses that towards the truth. So she protects herself. You understand what I'm saying? Because some things you can't be taught with words. They have to feel it, go through it, and know it, and understand it, to stand on it. Also, I can tell you in 30 seconds, but you won't know because no one's there to teach you how to stand on this. That's why I say, man, a lot of people dying right now because of no game etiquette. You gotta have street etiquette. Because where's the game man at? In the streets. Where that bitch gonna die at? In the streets. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, without street etiquette, without game etiquette, without conduct, you are fucked. So you telling me that Mace and all that shit on the wrist? Hold on. Let me give y'all don't work, right? Let me give y'all a scenario. Let them know. Fucking rob some hoes, my nigga. Hey, blood. Fucking rob some hoes. These hoes see me. Tell me, blood. Hey, you stick. What's up? Hey, you got $100, nigga? Yeah. I don't do all that bitch ass shit, my nigga. Bitch ass nigga. Fuck that over there. You gotta have 100 bitch ass. Damn, you better have my money. Bitch, shut up. Bitch, pull out the race. And she's already aggressive with this nigga. Boop, boop, punk ass bitch. Boop, boop, punk, boop, boop, boop.
I mean, what is going on in this brother's head? I don't know, but I wonder where he's at right now. I wonder if he's still alive right now. I wonder if he is still in the land of living. I can't believe that he let himself get this bad. I guess that he was or is a pimp. I'm not quite sure, but now he's on drugs. Again, emotionally just warped. What kind of spirit got on him, though? What did he do to get himself to this place?
Mace that, bitch. Go set this car on fire. But if you taught your bitch some game, what would have happened in that same scenario? Get them niggas some game, man. What would have happened in the same scenario with a bitch with some game? Hey, how much was my head? I've been having a rough day. Oh my God, everyone. I can't even catch the dead. Everyone started robbing. I don't even. You just happen to be. Oh my God, teach that bitch how to conduct herself. Could you work for her, nigga? That's why you can't get the game, nigga. Cause it ain't for you, nigga. Yeah, cause you work for the bitch, nigga. You the game out, nigga. If these niggas had some control over that bitch, them bitches wouldn't be standing there on corner mannequins. Talking about I'm down. Tennis shoes on, going to the hood fight. Cause they can't make no money. That's why they want to fight. Because they mind not right. They mind not right. They mind not right. Period. That's in your mind. See, if you had some game before, we'll talk something. The rap will be easy. See, these bitches put pussy above their time. Let me see you buy 1 second. I'm gonna give you $2 billion to buy 1 second. So how is time money? They buy it back. So what's more important, your time or your money? A bitch will spend 20 minutes for one sucker's dick for 2 minutes for $40. That's why they broke. The same shit that I'm doing with you. Yeah, get this right here. So you see, I clicked it on. They can see this stuff. Your faith in me. You see how you just say, I didn't get mad at you. No. And I did. I dodged you this time, the right time. Hey, man, I've got pimping to do, man.
Again, what do you think is going on in this man's head? It's crazy to me. What's up, Ben? What's up, TJ Noor, Miss D, and everybody in the clouds? Thank you for appearing. We're examining this either present or past pimp who is obviously on some type of drug, but this reminds me, is reminiscent to me, the types of spirits that also can be upon different people at certain points, because we're going to talk about spirituality today. I just want to give an exhibit of how somebody is out of control. They don't know what they're doing. The devil pretty much has got them in the palm of his hand. Ain't no telling where this man is at today. I don't even know if he's still alive. I don't know anything. This is an older video, but I thought it was interesting how he is carrying on in broad daylight.
I mean, I understood. That's the part. You have faith in me and your job, right? That's how deep I am. 10:51 a.m. What time is it? 11:45 a.m. God rewards faith. With that being said, I would cherish you having faith in what you want, taking a chance, then you handing me $100,000. God blesses for doing right by him. Outweigh money. I'm not religious, just hell spirit. That's funny.
But he's lost. He is lost. I want to read a scripture, actually, since he did bring out a scripture. I didn't think he was going to do that. But a scripture that comes to mind is Psalms 10. It is, why standest thou afar off, O Lord? Why hidest thou thyself in time of trouble? The wicked in his pride doeth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. For the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire, and blesseth the covetous whom the Lord abhorreth. The wicked through the pride of his covenants will not seek after God. God is not in all his thoughts. His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above, out of his sight. As far all his enemies, he puffeth at them. He puffeth at them. Let me make sure I'm on the right page. He hath said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be an adversity. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. He sitteth in his lurking places of the villages. In the secret places doeth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privily set against the poor. He lieth in wait secretly as a lion in the den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. He doeth catch the poor when he draweth him into his net. He croucheth and humbleth himself, that the poor may fall by his strong ones. He hath said in his heart, God hath forgotten. He hideth his face. He will never see it. Arise, O Lord, O God, lift up thy hand, forget not the humble. Wherefore doeth the wicked condemn God? He hath said in his heart, thou wilt not require it. Now, I just wanted to make a point about the unrighteousness, the wickedness of how people are turned into their own devices, how God sometimes lets you have at it with whatever you are doing. And he's not interrupting you. He's not trying to convict you. He's not trying to make you feel bad about it. He's not trying to tell you like that silent whisper that you might get in your mind about this ain't right, or you shouldn't do this, or you should rethink this, or you should leave. A still silent voice that talks to you sometimes. It's like God speaking to you. At some point when you are turned over to your devices, you don't hear that voice no more. You don't hear no consciousness about nothing. You just are out there like a ravishing wolf or dog looking to devour and do whatever you're trying to do. If you're into drugs, then you're going to be wanting to get drugs all the time. And however you get the drugs and continue to get high, you're going to do whatever it takes to get that drug. And those sins that you commit or those crimes that you commit, you could care less. You don't have a consciousness. You don't hear a voice. You don't have a pause button. You don't have nothing but just whatever you're doing. I think that a lot of that is happening right now in our society. A lot of people are turned into their own devices. They are acting a fool out here. They're very foolish out here. They're very willful to run to the fire, to commit any type of whatever. And they don't feel like they have any kind of repercussions because they're not thinking about one. So I just wanted to show a little bit more of this pimp acting the way he did. I hope that you guys are receiving what I'm saying, because this is a spiritual thing. We're going to talk about witches in a little bit. And so I want to first broach the conversation to be about, what are you on? What could you be partaking in that might be a hindrance to you? That might be something that overtakes you, that makes you lose your mind, that makes you lose your spirit or your faith or your courage or your sanity. These things are possible to lose if you are in the right place at the right time with the wrong people at the right time. And people can make you become part of their situation. Like if they're very wicked and they're part of demonic cults or something really strange that you're not aware of, and you just so happen to run into one of these types of people. Again, if you're not covered, if you are wide open, if you are turned over to your own devices, and God is not protecting you, he's not warning you, he's not allowing you to see what you need to see, he's not allowing you to discern what you need to discern, he's not giving you a gut feeling, a inclination that something is wrong, then you could be devoured by those particular people at that point in time. That's what I want to say. And so it's up to us to try to figure out how we can calm our own selves down, how we can turn away from our own devices, how we can loosen up the hold of the wicked spirits and the temptations of wickedness, to, fortify who you are through God's grace, through his word, through prayer, through trying to be upstanding and righteous as best you can, even though it might be kind of hard right now. But let's look at this some more.
That's funny. I had to. And I was just texting that when you was texting. See? For real. I appreciate it. How your shit got rewarded. Hey, man, do it for the game. And remember how before I was like, I don't know what I might say. But now, my game is elevated. I'm so spiritual with the game. I need what I'm saying to be heard. I mean, somebody cheers me up. Like today, I read. Oh, man, you got to give it up to this nigga. He's a pimp because he died saving his bitch. You know how you have a bitch location. Your bitch in the backseat getting raped. Ready, help me. He's fucking your pussy bad. That nigga take the location. He has a gun. Now, mind you, the bitch in talking to me got a gun. This in love with the pussy nigga. That's the only thing that'll make you move like that. Ran up to a gunfight with a knife. You know what happened. The rest is history. Yeah. It survived that shootout. Not a scratch. Yes, the police get behind you. Police shoot the nigga. It survived that shootout.
This is obviously a man that doesn't have purpose. He doesn't have a plan. He doesn't know himself. He doesn't know God. He is gone with the wind. But there are a lot of people that are just on this level, not just outwardly. I want y'all to understand what I mean about inward chaos, scatterbrain, confusion. A lot of us are now feeling this with propaganda on YouTube about what we're supposed to be as Americans, what we're supposed to do, what we're supposed to want. It brings about all these different changes in us, and it causes us to be warped and scatterbrained, which is one of the reasons why I'm anti-Pan-African, because I feel like it causes the confusion in what you see on social media. The conversations that are being had is confusion. And again, people are not really in tune with themselves. They're kind of out there alone, just doing too much.
Is that worth dying for? All for some pussy. The pussy that a bitch sell for 100. See, that's what I'm saying. See, man, women are powerful. So many niggas get caught up in all this shit because they really getting caught up behind the woman. They're not even getting caught up behind the hoe because the hoe will never play with her hoeing like that. Never. She takes her horn as serious as a pimp takes it. There's a line between a pimp, hoe, and a trick. Either you a pimp, hoe, or a trick. No in between. And if you have trick thoughts, you're a trick. Yeah, I'm a pimp. Let me know how to hoe. I'm telling you. Yeah, what's up? I got gangster hustle all the time. I'm a pimp, man. What's up, man? You got a hoe for me, man? I'm out here leaking, man. You know what I'm saying? That means I don't got a hoe, man. Well, let me ask you something. What? Telling you, man, I done cocained up the money. Man, what? You got a little one of them hoes to talk to you, man. Send it to me. Yeah, I'm that nigga. You can't go jump with a picture. You go jump that bitch tail though. Nigga, they don't need a picture. That bitch tail, they don't need a picture. They don't need an Instagram. They don't need nothing. They need to find you, nigga. Sometimes a hoe come in to test you. See if you about what you talking about. You never could know what a hoe coming in about. So when you go wrong, when you trying to think for a hoe, no, you can't think for the hoe. You know what I'm saying? You gotta understand hoe actions. And how you understand hoe actions is by being the blame for everything. So what you think about the state of the game right now? It's where it's supposed to be. Meaning it's great. How you say that? When niggas say the game is changing, how that time? So some niggas wasn't never in the game. Because if they call these niggas pimp, something wrong with them, man. Sure? I'm positive. Why you say that? Because everything work for the bitch. What's the first thing a nigga gonna say? You gonna be a pimp without a bitch. Nigga, you ain't no pimp because you thinking like that, nigga. That part right there, nigga. These niggas is Adam. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, I'm the serpent. I'm the pimp that came before Adam. You dig what I'm saying? I'm the bitch and told her to turn Adam against God, for God, so we can create y'all. Honestly, I ain't even been trying to knock no hoes because these not hoes. And my understanding is so on top of the roof right there.
Again, confusion. Where will this man be in the next 2-3 years if he's even alive? If he's even alive. But that is the state of affairs with a lot of our men, unfortunately, scattered brain without purpose, which leaves them wide open for other witchcraft or other spells and whatnot to work on them even better. That's the state that you never find yourself in, and have somebody run up on you that is a witch or somebody's a part of a cult looking to sacrifice somebody. That's what you want to avoid. Hold on.
Hi, brothers and sisters. This is Fire, and I am back with another video. All praises to the Most High Yah. Okay, so I am here today to speak to you all about witches and some of the characteristics of witches and how they operate. Okay, so and not just witches and warlocks. Okay. A witch is simply the woman version. The warlock is simply the man version. And they both operate in the dark arts of darkness, of witchcraft, of evil. Okay? So what they do is they use manipulation to get what they want. Okay? They use manipulation to get what they want. They try to control the will of others. Okay. A lot of times, for an example, a witch or a warlock, let's use a witch for an example, she may want a particular man. And so she may go and concoct some spells up and things of that sort to cast a spell over that man. And if he's not covered by the blood of Jesus, it can work to make that man fall for her, make that man head over heels for her. Okay? So that's an example. And vice versa, the warlock can do the same thing concerning a woman. They try to use emotional manipulation against you. Like crying crocodile tears, just stuff like fake crying to get to your emotions. Lying. They do a lot of lying. They could lie about something regarding themselves. They can lie about a situation, or they can lie on another. Okay? Lying. They use that a lot. They do that a lot. Okay? They will also do smear campaigns against you or against an individual. Simply going behind someone's back and telling several people a particular lie about this particular person and getting several people to not like a certain individual. Okay. And that's a shame because we're all adults. I mean, that's something children do. You should never just believe automatically what someone has told you about another without getting to know them first. Okay. They use makeup. Usually it's the women who do this, but a man could do it too. They use makeup to lure men in. See, the makeup was
you guys know how the what do you call those people that's on not Facebook no more, but where they have their own pages like the fan page. What is it called? Where they do dirty dancing or they do other stuff. A lot of those people have spirits on them. They could dress up to look a certain way with wigs and makeup and whatnot. And of course, it entices a whole lot of people to believe in the fantasy, the illusion of the makeup, and people get turned on and get all into that. What do they call that? I don't know what it's called. It'll come to me. Hold on, let's listen to this.
Taught to us by the fallen angels. Okay. That is in the book of Enoch. Okay. And so what they do, have you ever seen someone who puts on makeup and they look totally different than the true them without the makeup? Okay. Like totally, they can switch their self up to look like a totally different person. That is the art of witchcraft. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that wearing makeup is wrong. I'm saying this is one of the tactics that a witch uses is makeup. And it's usually to try to lure a man in. Okay. I know women wear makeup, and I'm not saying that you're a witch. I'm saying that witches do that. They use makeup. Okay. So I'm not calling, don't get it wrong. I'm not calling all women a witch. I'm just saying that is a tactic that witches use, is makeup. And it was taught by the fallen angels. Exodus 22, verse 18 states, "Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live." I'm going to say that again. Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. That tells you how bad a witch is. So I'm simply doing this video to enlighten my brothers and sisters of, like I said, some of the characteristics and some of the things that witches do, so that you'll be able to spot them out. Okay? They will use levels of manipulation as far as going to your social media. Okay? Trying to get your pictures and things of that sort. Because I had some notes here that I'm not seeing. Okay. There you go, right there. All right. All right. So, yeah, they will go to your social media. Okay. And they will try to get your pictures off of your social media and perform spells on you. But a lot of spells that they perform, they will have to get you to come into agreement with them with those spells. Okay. So beware of people that will try to ask you for your pictures. Also, another form of agreement with a witch or a warlock is a handshake. Seems simple, right? But when you do a handshake, that's an agreement. And that can be used against you in witchcraft. Also, just a simple yes. If they ask you something, and you say yes, that is an agreement with a witch or a warlock, if they are a witch or a warlock, of course. And if you come into agreement with these witches and warlocks, if you are not covered by the blood of Yeshua, those spells can work against you. Okay. So that's all I have to say today.
Okay, so witches and warlocks are real. They're out here looking to devour various people for various things through various means. A long while ago, I had looked at a video about this ex-Satanist that was talking about some of the things they used to do, and I found a clip of his that I want to play. The reason why I'm bringing up this witchcraft stuff and everything is because what happened in the Gambia, as Anja Africa had described, her being gang stalked by these types of people in a cult. And, you know, a lot of us don't really think about those things. We are just oblivious a lot of times of the spiritual realm and how people are moving spiritually. Even if it's through demonic means, we are not really paying attention. So I'm just trying to bring another awareness so that we are looking for stuff and paying attention to more things than we normally do.
But most of my attacks were on prayer ministries. Identify the churches, the men of God who are still not compromised, break their powers, break their marriages, break their businesses, break their churches, destroy them. Because they were afraid.
This specific aim was men of God.
Yes, men of God, especially men who were not compromised, but also I've observed that men who were committed to prayer, not preaching prayer. So my work was raise these young people, young girls and young boys. While you're raising them, you're training them also to break churches, to defile men of God, to go into the churches,
Sexual
immorality,
Yeah.
take them in so kill the fire, because as long as the fire, you've killed the fire of prayer, then we can control a territory.
A real warlock that grew up as a child was born into being a warlock. He was raised up to be a Satanist and a warlock. And then he decided later in life he didn't want to do that no more. And he got, I guess, reformed over to being a Christian. But he was trying to tell the secrets of what Satanists do and how they move. If you guys want to check out more of that, it's from Prayer Storm TV. Prayer Storm TV. He does have a 3-hour conversation with this same guy. This was just a little random clip that he did. But I think it was a blessing to hear a warlock that used to be a warlock speak about the things in which happens in Africa. He described a network. I can't find that timestamp, but he described a network of warlocks and witches in Africa, and that is a global network as well, in addition to having a network in Africa, and that they basically did look for people to take over, to control, to sometimes use as sacrifices or to manipulate for their money or for whatever they want them to do. These people are out here. These people that you might meet in your life and you don't know or not aware could be involved in these types of practices unbeknownst to you. And they have taken a liking to you for the reasons of their practice. So it's just something to just keep in mind about what could be lurking out there. Now, earlier today, I had caught a little bit of Q Butters live that should be almost over with, but I caught a clip of what was going on with us discussing, of course, debates or identity and different things of that nature. I just want to have you guys hear the confusion, the arguing, the chaos, the lack of purpose, the lack of restraint. These things kept happening throughout this videotape or clip Let's listen.
Your name is Nigeria. I mean, come on, man. Most of the place you from is Puerto.
Hold on, let me go back.
Yo, Tyler, you funny. Yeah, today has been one of those Monday, no love Mondays, man. I'm sorry that this was what y'all were entertained by. It was the entire day. I think it's the moon. I think we're in the motherfucker in your chat name, Pan Nigeria, talk about me being fly. Bitch, your name is Nigeria. I mean, come on, man. Most of the place you from is broke. No, now you ain't got paid roads where you from. Shut your dirty bum, broke, wanna be African ass up, nigga. That's what's wrong with you niggas. So the nigga present a debate to you. You don't have one. All you wanna do is sit here and cry. I'm gonna make you cry in. So we gonna talk about bum ass Africans, nigga. Stop doing this because you can't touch them intellectually. That's what's wrong with these niggas. What we doing here, bro? Stepping on fake ass wanna be Africans, nigga. Okay. These I saw that shot in the chat, Buddha. I guess this is the white man's fault, huh? Yeah, we were talking about this. Now this went left because this went left because of the whole Garvey thing, and everybody knows Taz's position on Garvey. So again, we're talking about this mark where we're going.
There's always a debate about Marcus Garvey because a lot of us are living in the past. We're so confused about what we are today in 2024. So I wish that a really good live or debate could happen to end the conversation about Marcus Garvey, but it seems to just pick up speed in this conversation, as far as they never want to let go of the subject. They always want to keep bringing it back up. And that's why we lack identity. We're lacking purpose. We're scatterbrained because of being indecisive, because of being a procrastinator, and because of having other voices speaking other way of thought of living in life, that it's not a reality on the ground today. But they still want to live as if they're back in the 1920s or 1820s. And it's just sad. But just listen to this.
This is my issue, though. And hold on, this is why I put you on some you know, he put that nigga for you. Any black person that did it, no reason for me to be nice to niggas. Niggas can't question my intellect, call me a cool. I'm let's debate something now. Nobody, nigga, really want you to be, but nobody don't want you to be. I tell you what, Jazz, let's set up the debate. Hold up, Jazz, I'm taking your challenge. Let's set up the debate right here on Q Butter's channel. Let's set the date now with me, with Q Butter right here, everyone here, and debate this Marcus Garvey thing, bro. Yeah, when? Tomorrow? You want to do it next week? Next Sunday? It don't matter. You pick the date. Sunday. Is that cool with you, Butter? And what's the topic? You have Marcus Garvey a scammer? Yeah, Marcus Garvey name the title. What? You want to Marcus Garvey? I'm saying Marcus Garvey was a black leader who cared for black people, all that, and was trying to move black people to the right direction. He was not a scammer at all. Every scam, hold on, let's set it out. And every scam that I know about, I heard you before. I'm telling you, everything you bring up, I will make you look like a fucking child. You can bring up the fact, talk about the boat. You don't know about the boat. You must have never read the motherfucking reports. You know what I'm saying? Oh, he did. And then the shit you say about he never went to Africa. If he scammed people, what are you talking about? What scammer do y'all know died through? Let's do this. No. I'm talking about the reports from the States. The reports from J. Edgar Hoover. So the U.S. Shipping Board, right? No, I'm not talking about you. Or the one who would be over control of those ships. You telling me I ain't read that? You telling me I don't? I'm telling you, I have everything I need right now. Okay, well, Sunday tonight. You got to do it Sunday, bro. Because I'm gonna bring the documents to show how stupid you got. I'm ready. I'm ready now. Real quick, Lex, why you gotta wait till Sunday though, bro?
Why y'all keep putting this shit
I gotta
off?
pretend for a debate. But how am I gonna debate a nigga at 4 o'clock in the morning on a fucking Tuesday
I'm
morning?
saying go down, Josh, brother. I'm not saying go down, fam. I'm asking why does it have to be a whole week? Like it's Tuesday. Like y'all gotta go. We gotta wait till Sunday. Like my thing is if y'all listen. Hold on, bro. But I'm asking is if y'all is versed on these things as y'all say y'all are, why we gotta wait a week? Like this is just a setup. So this should be hey Q.
Well, you know, I put that in.
Hold on, Rex. Hey Q, when is Q?
You must not know it.
When is it? When should we have the channel? That should be the only conversation. Y'all get into hold on, bro. Once you start getting into manifesting shit, you're getting into the debate.
Because he wants to debate his feelings on Marcus Garvey. I want to debate facts. Yeah, I don't care if he made you feel good or if he made your pussy wet, nigga. Can you debate some facts? Yeah, that's what we gonna do Sunday, bro. Right. So the question needs to be framed around a fact. So,
What time?
what title would you like? Do you have a title that suits you? Was Marcus Garvey scamming the black community? Okay.
So y'all got y'all
with that title. Okay. And what scam did he? What's the scam?
Y'all don't go into that. Y'all don't go into that.
I mean, listen, hold on, bro. If you say someone like if people say Brother Polite scammed the community, we can say, oh yeah, we got this right here. Financially in there. Huh? Financially.
I don't think that should be. I don't think that should be in there. Yes. I think
you're saying, hold on.
Hold on, Rex. I think it should be.
I'm the one negotiating a debate, nigga.
But y'all just don't make sense, bro. Like,
hold on, bro. So you saying, Jazz, that when you say financially, you saying that man scammed the black community and robbed them of their money, right? Absolutely. And what did he buy with that money? He bought his wife a house.
We're getting into the debate at this point.
Watch this. Hold on.
No, because see, now we're trying to have a
They can't even orderly make up a debate time and just go for a title and debate on it. They have to deviate from that because the guy wants to not showcase Marcus Garvey in a bad light. He does not want the financial aspect of him stealing money from Black Americans to come out. So he's interjecting his emotions right here, which again, we're always seeing overly emotional men on YouTube, and it's very embarrassing. But let's listen to this.
It's just like this having a conversation.
I'm having a conversation with the man of the
but you're not debating at this point, bro. This is a panel right now. What you're trying to do is you're trying to have that conversation now, bro.
Get in this conversation with Taz. Not a nigga talking about the panel.
No, nigga. No, because you trying, bro.
Why are you concerned with me? And what you're trying to have a
debate right now without saying it's a debate.
Stay the fuck out of this debate.
I'm not because I'm in the fucking panel. You're not going to do that. We're going to conversate, bro.
Weird, bro. So you saying the nigga, he bought his wife a house, and so that's a scam because he used some money to do his
conversation now.
Is that part of the scam, Taz?
So we're not waiting to discuss it.
Is that part of the scam? That's all I'm asking. There's certain business practices, yes, that's going to point. No, I'm talking about, you said he bought his wife a house. Is that part of the scam?
No, I don't think that this is the same video, Kiki. What's up? And what's up, Jenny Quick? What's up, Callum Mullins and Dottie and everybody watching the clouds, TJ and Ben and everybody. I want to showcase this video because, again, this discussion about Marcus Garvey or Pan-Africanism is always on the forefront of thought. People are making decisions behind the scenes in regards to what direction we're going in. And a lot of people is putting us in the bracket of going towards Africa, whether we like it or not. So these conversations keep coming out because of the confusion of Pan-Africanism, the confusion of who are we, the confusion of who are we supposed to have allegiance to. People are trying to tear us away from America and trying to make us over. So after I show this video, I'm going to show Dynasty Mir's video where he was talking about the so-called diaspora integrating with Africa right after the deaths that were happening in the Gambia with 6 women, 5 being American, 1 being from UK. His solution is integration with Africa. And like I said, this confusion, this propaganda that's being spewed on YouTube by various YouTubers consistently, there is definitely an agenda. But because we're so scatterbrained and we're so all over the place, people are able to manipulate and work around us and do things behind our backs with us not being, uniformly together as a unit, thinking the same and acting the same and feeling the same. And it's because of Pan-Africanism. In my opinion, I really think it is a sickness that's being force-fed to people. And it's messing up our minds to really look ridiculous right here.
You're right, yes. That's part of the scam. Yeah, absolutely. Why? Because your being doesn't answer the question. No,
Why so much emotion, though? I know it is annoying, Jenny Quick. It definitely is annoying, but this is just reiterating my point how out of control a lot of the men are. Therefore, they can't lead us. They can't tell us anything as women because they don't even know how to conduct themselves for a simple debate. They don't know how to just be plain with it. It has to be all dramatized. It's got to be extra. All over the place, chaotic. That's all you're going to get.
No, I'm not staying out of it, bro. Everything's on the panel, bro. If you want to have a debate, you're setting up a debate, man. A title and you start a debate. You're having the conversation without having. You're having the conversation. No, I'm not talking to you. What you're doing is you're trying to with me, bro. What the fuck is going on? I'm really not. I'm just trying to. I'm not talking to you right now. Let me talk to this old ass nigga right now so I can figure out what the fuck he's trying to say, bro.
The guy that's interrupting has nothing to do with the debate at hand. He is supposed to be listening to the other 2 men discuss the time and the topic of the debate. And he is just triggered because he does not want the debate to go in a direction he feels that's going to make Marcus Garvey look bad. So here he is getting all high strung, out of control, arguing and acting a fool. It's just reiterating how unstable emotionally a lot of these men are. And they're easily displaying it on YouTube.
Why are you saying women is cussing this dude out, bro? We let you have that. Now y'all setting up a debate. We let you have that. But now you want to go question after question. You might have to debate right now. Hey, yo, Taz, why are you saying every party buying a house for his wife is a scam? Because again, if the money that's coming from the Black Star Line, which again I can put back into the company, if it's not being denoted on his taxes, then what we're talking about as a scam is going to be pointed to as what the FBI and the people who invested in him say. Not me. It's not me that feels that. So did he get convicted for the scam? Hey, bro, are you listening? The people who could not get their money back from him, the people who he pulled guns on, the people that testified against him. That's who we're talking about. His victims. Black. Okay, not me. And you saying that all those victims are legit?
Question number 3, guys. Y'all see what I'm saying? We might as well have the conversation now.
Okay, so here's what I will say to that. Most of his victims were part of the UNIA, and so they loved him before. The only reason he fell out of favor with it is because he didn't produce. So how Right. Okay. So I mean, like too much. You got two dissatisfied people, and on the basis of that,
Hey, Q-Butter, you're gonna change the cash app. I just paid for Lex to get up out of here.
there are more arguments than that, though. Nigga, how the fuck we setting up a debate? We trying to pay? Like,
Because you ain't set the debate up. You're on my nerves.
yo, bro, you're like, dick, bro. I don't know you. Like, you know, like, why you arguing, bro?
Get him out of here.
Why is you arguing?
So he paid to get rid of Lex. He is paying to get rid of Lex so that they don't even get a chance to talk about the debate. And all of this over Marcus Garvey, the worship of Marcus Garvey. By the way, all videos that I've showed so far are under fair use for education, research, observation, for reality checks realized and lies denied. I think that this is interesting back and forth kind of, but he's about to drop Lex.
I'm talking to Q-Butter. I ain't talking to you no more. Q-Butter, can you check the cash app and move accordingly, bro, please?
Hey, yo, so Taz, what time we having the debate Sunday, man? This niggas, I don't know if he's jealous of the debate or what, why this nigga so concerned.
Oh, I just worried we get off my dick. You literally tried to have a fucking
Yo,
debate
you're
right
not
now.
even in the debate, bro.
I'm trying to have a conversation. This ain't debate
Why
time.
ain't nobody else doing what you're doing?
This is debate time, you goofy nigga.
I'm goofy, but you're on my dick. You're on another man's dick on the panel.
Right now. Y'all
You're on another man's dick on the panel. I'm not on your dick, like, I'm not talking about your problem. Bro, you have nothing to do with this, man.
You better. I literally just paid for this nigga to get up out of here. Like, seriously.
My bad. My phone is dead. I'm talking to nigga. Bro, we're trying to set up AQ, but we're trying to set up a debate, bro.
You know this nigga.
I'm mad because I'm setting up a debate with
I
Taz.
am going, my nigga, so I can get 20 minutes to have a panel with the rest of the people. That's all I want.
Lex from Comcast been talking way too long. Lex from Comcast need to get out of here, man. This dude.
It's ridiculous. You set up a date and you want to have the whole conversation right now. But then, okay, we're going to have the conversation.
Oh, no, Black Senses, you said, you wanted to do what, sis?
So just like that, they dumped Lex for money, I guess. And that just reiterates how crazed a lot of these men are and not really stable and really can't talk very well or anything. So how can they lead us to anything? Why all this confusion leading us to Pan-African talk? Why is it always on Pan-African talk? Dynasty Mir, like I said, did a video talking about integrating after the deaths there in the Gambia. That's his solution to try to fix it. And it's not fixable. No one wants to integrate to Africa. I don't want to integrate. And I know that there's millions of us that don't care to integrate to Africa. So why is he having this type of conversation? But because the confusion of the Americans to make up their mind on who they are and what they want to do, they want to just debate and argue and cry and whine and bitch and moan. So the likes of Dynasty Mir and others can come along and suggest this bullshit. Let me move it up a little bit more.
New streaming app. All right. Again, I am using a new streaming.
Let me go up some.
Yeah, we are going for Jazz. He's my head right now. Before you decide to move to the Gambia, before you decide to visit the Gambia, you need to integrate into Gambian communities wherever you are at in America or the UK.
So to solve the deaths of 6 women from abroad, from where the Western Hemisphere, his suggestion is that you integrate with what's going on over there. Andrew Africa talked about being stalked. How can you integrate with any of that? Again, these men are clueless. They think that they make sense. They don't make sense. This is coming off of the storyline of 6 women dying in less than a year in the Gambia, and 5 suspicious deaths and 1 murder. And this is the conversation that he wants to come up with as a solution to 6 deaths that have just happened. But this is what we got going on with Pan-Africans.
Wherever you are at, you need to connect with Gambians in your local communities first. This will become your extended Gambian family. They are going to shout out to O'Shea Duke Jackson. My bad, O'Shea.
Have you seen Africans trying to connect with Black Americans in America? It does not happen. It is not happening. It's just something that he's saying because it sounds good. Again, as far as I can tell, Gambians and other Africans stay in their own little, small little corner. They're not available for that, to connect with Black Americans and be a part of their life as, you know, friends and associates and family. That's not happening. So what is he talking about, y'all?
Go live. Let me get to the chat real quick. Thank you. You already own 45 pair of sandals. So you in already. You damn right. You know what, O'Shea? With your super chat, I'm going to go buy me another pair of sandals. With your super chat, O'Shea, with the super chat you just gave me, I'm going to go buy me another pair of sandals. I appreciate it. Dynasty, I'm coming. Coming where? Oh, you're coming to Senegal with me? Well, Isaac, listen. Go to donfo.africa, send me an email, and include your phone number. Again, send me an email and include your phone number. But when they go to the U.S., do they integrate? They don't have to. You want to know why they don't have to? And see, I knew that was going to come up. I don't know what it is with our people. Why we just feel we're always so damn offended. Like we just get offended so easily. Well, they don't have to. But when they go to the U.S., do they integrate? They don't have to. The reason why is because they have.
And we don't have to. And you should not want to. And you should not want to fuck with Gambia if you are a single woman, period. That should not even be a suggestion for him to say or do or suggest for you to do. It's just too dangerous. It is irresponsible of him to try to clean it up this way with all these deaths that just recently happened. It just shows you how callous these Pan-Africans are. They are on this agenda. He is possessed with this notion of Pan-Africanism. He acts like he's a part of a cult. They all act like they are a part of a cult. They don't make sense at all. And they keep on roving around with bullshit talk about integration where most of us are not trying to move there. So how does that help us in this conversation? How does that help build what is broken with our community right now? I'm confused. Not only that conversation is being had about integration to Gambia after the deaths of 6 women. Come on. Now we have another guy that's asking the question just a day ago, do Black Americans need an African plan? Again, this is all we got going. Whenever you hear the conversations that's being had, it's about Africa. Again, everybody seems to think that we're all going to be on board with this notion of exiting America to go to Africa. And people are trying to line us up to that notion with all these different conversations. But the confusion abounds. The confusion of the mind, the scatterbrain of the brain, of our brothers being out here just lost in the sauce, unstable. No wonder. They don't know who they are. They're confused with conversation that they're having. They're hanging out with the wrong type of crowds, and they're not productive, and they don't have purpose right now, and it shows. Before I get started with that, let me just say if you guys have said anything in the chat room. I'm sorry about that. Let me go back up. Jeannie says sometimes she wished she had the guts to have her own channel, public anyway. However, I'm not good with visuals and having things look right and all that. You don't have to show yourself. I don't show myself, Jenny Quick. All you have to do is have the microphone and cover up the phone or whatever you want to do and just speak from your heart. Just speak. You're very smart. I think that you could do it. I think you can pull it off. Hi, Dottie. Thank you for the compliments. And Callum says, the Lord is my light and my salvation, and who shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? Yeah, you want to have a lot of faith in God, because you cannot have a lot of faith in man. And you also have to have faith within yourself to work for the cause of your life, for the benefit of you and for the benefit of people around you. Jenny Quick says the Muslims have prayers where we ask for protection from things just like this. In fact, the last 3 surahs of the Quran are known as the surahs of protection. A surah is what we would call a chapter in English. I probably should have used the word chapter. Okay. You think I may be behind in the video a bit? Okay. And what's up, Kiki? I'm not sure what video you're talking about, but that video I just got earlier today, this morning when I was up. So it was a quick clip that I caught. Kiki says, yep, that's why I don't like to touch people. Oh, yeah, because you don't know what's on them. You don't know what spirit is on them. Never know. Jenny says, you are better than me. I cannot listen to all these people yelling at each other. Only temporarily. Usually I like to control the volume. If I can control the volume, that's best. But yeah, right now it was annoying. Jenny Quick says, I can't even really tell what they are talking about because they keep talking all over each other. Yeah, they were talking about trying to debate for or against Marcus Garvey. We're stuck in this time capsule about 100 years ago with Marcus Garvey talk. Marcus Garvey's been long gone. It's been a century later. And we're still talking about Marcus Garvey. We're still talking about repatriation to Africa while we're being replaced by migrants. And like I said, this is the swap-a-roo. This is the game that they're doing against us, trying to get us to be replaced and be happy about it. That's why we keep getting force-fed repatriation. That's why the death of Shekinah was very horrendous, because not only was it a terrible way to die, but she was the face of repatriation in the Gambia. And so that face of repatriation has passed away. And so their movement, in my opinion, has been cut short. But they're still pushing. Nonetheless, no matter what happens to anyone, whether it's death, missing, homelessness, brokenness, frauding, scamming, death, all the above, they still are pouring down our throat, force feeding us Africa. And like I said, there's a lot of people online that's doing this strategically on purpose. They're being propped up by different sponsors to do these conversations redundantly. I'm just trying to let y'all see why the confusion within the minds of our men are abundant, is because they have no purpose. They are scatterbrained. They are highly emotional, and they keep talking about stuff that's way long ago. We're here in 2024, not 1820, 1812, 1920. This is years upon years upon years later, and we cannot catch up to now to save our soul. We're stuck in the past, which is not a good thing. And this spirit of procrastination is upon us. And I'm hopeful to wake and shake up those that are doing this, to make you realize what you're doing. You're keeping us stagnatedly talking about the stupid stuff that people are pushing upon us to want to do. You're helping to propel the propaganda against us being replaced here in America. Hold on, I guess I have a couple more to read. Hold on, let me see. Jenny Quick says, my superhuman hearing that blind people are supposed to have sure isn't helping you now with this video. Okay. Pitiful Sassy Ear says, who's that? Donnie Stuff says, he's stuttering now. Sassy Ear says, Jenny says, wow, did I not know you could do a video without visuals? Yeah, you could do a video without visuals. You could just be in a dark room if you wanted to, with the lights off, and just talk. I used to do that years ago when I was really, really shy. I would just be in the dark or just have the phone covered up, and I would just have like the phone show an emblem of something, and I would just speak. You don't have to have visuals. Jenny says, going within and trusting your own instincts can protect you. Keep your life and personal matters between God and you. My advice, love, and protection for you all. Thank you, Genuine. I really appreciate that. Hey, what's up, Easy Axe? I'm going to make that call sometime next week, okay? Thank you for the numbers. Rain says, do you want to build a snowman? No. You got to be timed out because you're trying to be silly. So I'm going to give you 10 minutes to think about it, okay? Come back with a little bit more sense. Okay, here's this video. Like the video. Please share the video. Let's go. Okay, dude. You got to speed this up. He tripping.
In my first year as an owner-operator, I grossed over $200,000. Of that, I paid.
I think to be forward thinking, I think that's just a good thing to have in general. I think a lot of other ethnicities, cultures, forward think, and that's what kind of keeps them ahead of the curve. So
how we're being replaced is that the pressure of what the migrants are doing, they're making it harder for the poor Blacks or the poor Americans, whomever they are, to sustain themselves in the cities that they are in. They're more than likely going to have to downsize or move out of the city. Some are going to think of Africa, if they have like a little bit of money saved up, as a last resort to try out. That's how you're getting squeezed out, for instance. And it's going to increase with these migrants once they all are set up shop, once they all go for our jobs and whatnot, compete with us in schools and whatnot. It's just a squeeze effect that's happening in America right now with the onslaught of migrants that are coming over. And you can feel it already in Chicago, New York, Denver, LA, or whatever, or San Francisco, wherever other places is at. I'm saying once they get established, these migrants, wherever they land, it will have an effect with programs. It will have an effect with the money drying up, because they're using a whole lot of money to support these migrants. And there's no help and support for the lower class Americans anymore. They're actually being ignored and bypassed, which is going to force them to have to make decisions based on survival, which is going to make them have to move or move in with somebody. And then, of course, you have dramas with moving in with people that don't need to live together or living together. Then you have a lot of violence and murders and uptick of crime. That's how we're getting squeezed out with different things like that, crimes, homelessness, programs not opening up for you to be assisted, destituted, poor. Then you have to make decisions to survive, which means you might have to move to go somewhere else different, squeezed out, being replaced. Over time, this will be a reality in certain areas of this country. I'm saying this now, but this is going to happen soon. And it's happening right now. We can actually see the numbers. We can actually see the effects of Chicago. Let me see. I'm glad that you asked that. There are some clips I can play as far as these migrant situations before I even go forward with that guy talking about Africa. But it is becoming a big issue for lower class Americans because the money is going to be dried up. And that's going to leave a lot of people already struggling to not be able to survive the way that they used to or could have, because those available funds are no longer accessible to them. It's accessible to everybody else besides the lower class American.
The city of Chicago alone will have a difficult time.
Well, to battle the budgets, the state is throwing more money at the migrant crisis, and so is Cook County. Missing in action, the city of Chicago.
Yeah, Mayor Brandon Johnson says there needs to be a comprehensive plan moving forward, and that's his mission before giving up the additional $70 million that's needed. Chicago has received an estimated 35,757 migrants since the crisis started. No buses have arrived this week, but the crisis is far from over.
I don't know where the disagreement really exists here.
That's the mayor speaking last Thursday. The state made a financial commitment along with Cook County. The city isn't stepping up. In this press release sent by Governor J.B. Pritzker's office, the state is pledging $182 million to deal with the migrant crisis with the goal to
$180 million to deal with the migrant crisis. Not a dime is being given to the poorer class, Blacks or whites or any other American that's struggling right now. The cost of living is outrageous right now. There's a lot of people living out of their vehicles, or a lot of people actually homeless right now. And these funds are not going to touch their hands. So a lot of them will die off. A lot of them will get sick. A lot of them will end up in crises of some sort, health crises, or, freezing themselves to death. There are cases all the time where homeless people can be found frozen to death. These things do happen. Again, for the ones that still can move around, they have a little bit of flexibility with their family to help them out. Perhaps they'll be helped. A lot of times, once people hit the streets, they're in the streets. They don't get helped. They're just out there. So that is the effect of not having availability for funds such as what the migrants are getting. These programs that we used to help out homeless people and also disabled people and things of that nature. They would look out for children. Right now, it's all about the migrants. It has nothing to do with any American whatsoever. So we are being replaced.
permanent housing. The county is adding $70 million primarily for health care. The city was supposed to match with the same amount, but hasn't committed to adding to the pool of funds. Johnson says there's more needed than just throwing money at the problem.
I've appropriated $51 million from the very beginning. I then appropriated another $150 million, and then went back again for a third time for $95 million. There's an entire operation that we have to consider here.
There's $400 million in American Rescue Plan Act money under the Chicago.
$400 million, y'all. We're talking about reparations. Of course, we ain't got a dime towards any reparations. We don't have anything towards any new programs that's supposed to suffice. In the meanwhile, nothing is being given to us collectively as Americans. We are totally being bypassed. And this is having a ripple effect to the ones that don't have options already. They're being replaced from the bottom. They're being replaced. And if they can't survive what's going on around them, then they die. They get sick. They move on. They try to move to another city, another town, another state, where they could try to survive better. And if they can't, oh well, that's what's going on right now.
Recovery plan. The mayor says that money is for Chicagoans, not the migrants.
Ensuring that ARPA dollars get to the neighborhoods that have been historically denied access to housing, access to good paying jobs. That's important to me. And it's important to the people of Chicago.
Cook County Board President and strong supporter of Johnson, Toni Preckwinkle, says she will continue to meet with the mayor despite his lack of financial commitment.
The county and the state have made a commitment. As I said, I work with the governor and the mayor, and I'll continue to work with them.
The federal government continues to sit on their hands while democratic cities are being overwhelmed because someone is using people as leverage.
Well, Cook County Board President Toni Preckwinkle says she plans to meet with Mayor Johnson sometime this week.
Like I said, that's how you be replaced.
There's a lot at stake for the migrants, with
Hold on.
Chicago bearing the responsibility for providing shelter.
Okay, I just played that. Okay, now Chicago mayor is trying to back out of the commitment to the $250 million joint migrant care package, but it might be a little too late because he's been in support of this situation going on with the migrants for a while, and we have to wait and see if it's going to be disallowed at this point. But again, a whole lot of $1 million being spent, shelled out for migrants and not Americans. That is going to have an ultimate ripple effect to the people that is not being helped at all. So, which leaves, when you have problems in America where you are, it leaves to the ones that could have one last attempt at something to consider Africa. And this is why this conversation about supposedly integrating with Africa is kind of, again, problematic, because we are not African. We are another culture. We are another people. People are dying off over there. A lot of things are happening as a doomsday for the end for a lot of people that try to make their way to Africa. But people keep suggesting that all we got left is Africa. And this guy right here, I don't know who he is. His name is No Excuse ENT. This is going to be a response to his video. Do Black Americans need an African plan? Again, why are we being targeted for this African plan?
What's up? What's good? Hope all is well. Hope all is well, man. Let me turn this down a little bit. So, you guys checked out the page. I updated the page, got a new banner. I'm going to be working on having like a nice studio, new studio set up in the next, I would say, next month. And I want to do a lot of things with this Afro Sundays.
Let me fast forward it. Come on, dude.
They may think it's far-fetched. But then a couple of years, I was like, man, bro, you was...
Okay, people are really trying to make it seem like this is the direction we got to go, though.
Now, to the average person, they may not feel like they need to think too deep in that. They may feel like it's highly unlikely for something catastrophic to happen for Black Americans to even have to consider leaving the United States for whatever reason. So it's far-fetched for a lot of people. But I'm a deep thinker. I try to think ahead. I always try to think about having a plan B, a backup plan. I always think about what if scenarios. And I think to be forward thinking, I think that's just a good thing to have in general. I think a lot of other ethnicities, cultures, forward think, and that's what kind of keeps them ahead of the curve. So I've noticed over the years that typically a lot of things that I said or foresaw or foreseen, most of the time it came to be valid. So sometimes if you're intellectual, you may say things to people now today, and they may think it's far-fetched. But then a couple of years, they was like, man, bro, you was on to something. You was right. So, hopefully people, gravitate to what I'm saying, or at least give it some thought. I know contextually, speaking to a lot of Black Americans, even some guys in my fraternity I talked to, a lot of them just feel like that we built America. We're gonna, live and die in America, and this is our home. This is what we should be building up. We shouldn't be trying to, take our resources anywhere or defend anyone else. We need to be worried about home, which, to a certain extent, I see where he was going with that. And then also, on the flip side, we need them more than we think we need African more than we think we do. And that's kind of what I'm going to be getting at.
Again, this is the type of rhetoric that is spewing throughout the YouTube spaces. This is why a lot of the men are so docile, in my opinion, because they are always looking to have a great escape. They're always preaching the passport, bro. They're always talking about going to Africa. They don't want to fight for what is deserving of them to fight for. They don't understand that a cost has been already paid on our behalf with blood, sweat, and tears, sacrifices that people have already made for us, and we're walking away from that. We're cowardly walking away from that. And we're trying to take on another frontier that is no guarantee whatsoever as the end result of what will be awaits you. So this notion of trying to tell us to go out to the wilderness and try something new, I just think it's counterproductive for our survival. I think that we should really hunker down and figure out what we're going to do, try to figure out to do a class suit, or get a hold of a lawyer, or get mad about something first off, get mad about some of the things that's happening to us and speak out and, let your voice be heard. Let your presence be felt. We're not even doing that much. We're barely saying anything. All we're talking about is leaving. And that's what I mean about being replaced. In addition to being squeezed out, we're making the decision to be willfully sacrificial of ourselves with talking about this go back to Africa. And a lot of people, I'm telling y'all, will not make it. They're going to lose it all in Africa. But this is the mindset that's being put on to us right now through propaganda, through this conversation right here.
Kind of said that Gambia situation is getting hectic. Yeah, I've seen the reports. On one hand, I try not to make a knee-jerk reaction to it because that's a country I want to visit. But the reality is the reality. There are some things that are happening. People need to be aware. And of those people that don't know, in Gambia, there has been, deaths, particularly Black American women, over, the past few years, which has been suspicious. And, there's a lot of speculation on certain things. I don't want to get into the speculation, but, it just shows you that going to Africa is going to have its own set of issues and challenges. It's just like I say with relationships. You leave one set of problems for a different set of problems. And so it's kind of like...
And that's my point. So why escape one thing to go to another set of problems that you're not prepared for whatsoever? You don't speak their language. You don't even know if they're setting you up. You have no awares about nothing. You don't know their spirituality. You don't know their gods. You don't know shit. And the story of Anja Africa is so refreshing to me because she was the real testament for telling her truth, her testimony before she got, before she left this earth. And, I'm again not going to let her memory go away because she is definitely the cautionary tales queen. And people are now talking about this story in the Gambia. Again, it all comes from Kiki Loves Nigeria is the one that discovered the 4 deaths. And the 5th we kind of discovered together. And the 6th, of course, was a murder. We didn't expect that one to happen within a week's time. And so instead of talking about maybe single women shouldn't just go to the Gambia, it's not a good idea considering what has been happening. No, people are trying to make excuses. They're trying to say integrate with Africa, get to know the Africans, throw yourself onto the whole notion of Africa, self-sacrifice. Again, that's what it's telling me. This is what the message is telling me.
This lesser of 2 evils thing. But yeah, it is something that I'm monitoring as well. West Africa is not a country. West African countries aren't countries I'm too familiar with. At the moment, most of my experience is Eastern Africa and Southern Africa. Salute to Traveler Tony, man, in Tanzania. Salute, man. He's in a country that I definitely advocate and promote. So salute to Traveler and Tony. So, as it pertains to having a plan in Africa, I thought about something catastrophic happening, and there's 2 things that we have to think about. So this is like a hypothetical. Some people don't like hypotheticals for whatever reason. But hypothetically, if a catastrophic situation happens, we have to think about 2 things. We have to think about relationships and resources. Relationships and resources. When people come to the U.S., all these immigrants that come to the U.S., they're leaving their country, and 99.9% of them are coming here for resources, whether there's a better opportunity or things of that nature.
And we're being told to leave resources and just jet. Right now, again, the resources are drying up to the migrants, but there are some places where it's not all the way dried up just yet. Praise the Lord. And hopefully it will not dry up in every area possible, imaginable. But again, he wants us to leave resources behind and go to the land of nowhere and try it out cold turkey, ground zero. I just don't think that that's a smart thing to do. I'm glad that I found out that ES has a higher mind network. She is going to talk about the shrines of manipulation. She experienced this in Ghana. And the reason why I want to talk about spirituality, because like I say, there's a lot of people that's being affected by different spirits or different influences to partake in. Sometimes you're turned over to your own devices like the Bible described. Sometimes God is not, he left you in a reprobate mindset, which leaves you to do whatever you want to do and however you want to do. And one of those things that can get you there is getting into these different types of spirituality talk. Anja Africa, I think, meddled with too many different spiritual practices, I think. And I think it left her open to have something possible to happen to her. Again, we don't know what her true origin of her death was. We just know that it was mysterious and how she was, again, stalked in her own words and how she felt like she was being sought after to her death. This is the type of stuff that she described, but she did mess around with different spiritual realities. And I think ES did the same thing, but she is coming out to say, in other words, the shrine is not the thing to do. Let's listen to this.
Something that I had to really sit and think about. Are the people going to be ready for this? And something told me, maybe not. And ever since, it's like the sensitivity levels, the misinformation, and everything just keeps unfolding, just a very strange dynamic that I said I would not participate in this pattern because I have very strong opinions about humans. But just because I feel a certain type of way about something doesn't mean that it's going to be well received or understood. It was very heavy. And also, when people are in distress, you don't want to stress them out even more. And I see that many people worldwide are affected by these media productions. It's interesting because at first it was all about Putin's war and all this, then it became a different one, when all along there's been all kinds of wars going on worldwide that have been ignored. And it's almost as if importance is only shown towards certain groups for certain reasons for the public to consume. So I said, nope, I'm not going to get into that one. Here's why. What I've come to realize is that it's showing the division of minds. It's very difficult to reason with people who have already made up their mind about how they feel about something based on their beliefs. So I said, no, I'm not going to do that. And we pulled it, and I haven't been back since. So my apologies for the delay. I just kept thinking, like, why you didn't post it? The world is so complicated. It's very complicated, and we have to be sensitive to some things. And I think that
I kind of fast forward this a little bit because she hasn't started off talking about the shrines. Let me see if this will get better. Hold on.
In your dreams, someone else is driving. It's almost as if the universe or God's angels is showing you that you are not in control of your life. Someone or something else is. And we willingly give ourselves over to that thing because it gives you the illusion of your star rising and that you are somehow becoming important and people are loving you and, all these different lies that are told to you to make you feel important, to make you feel like a leader, to make you feel as if you're protected and safe. It's all a lie. They cannot help you. They cannot protect you. They cannot save you. They cannot empower you. And there are Americans who have been financially manipulated by these very people who have built compounds, guest houses to house them when they come and learn. And it's so unfortunate, to hear that my message did not get out there. People instead were looking at someone attacking me, like looking at a relationship or what have you, but not looking at what was really going on. That we don't belong to this thing. We don't belong to shrines. We don't belong to these spirits. Our ancestors got in trouble for trusting in things outside of themselves. If you look at the results here, people are impoverished. And they're going to save you. They're going to give you money. They're going to make you a leader. Look at your life. What has happened to your profession? What has happened to your health? What has happened to your views? I see people, it's like a veil, a spell has been cast over them to where they can't see it. It's a pity. It's really sad because I thought I had spoken enough. I thought I had spoken clearly, but the spell we put upon ourselves, we put it on ourselves and think that these things are working. It is not working. And it has a time limit on it. It's not of your origins. It's of no one's origins. It's mud with all kinds of materials vying together. The imaginary spirits, you know, and people rely on these things. Generations after generations have like sourced energies that they've created that has nothing to do with your inner power that your maker gave you. It is complete disrespect and dishonor of your origins. To burn incense, burn candles.
So what she's talking about is like the rituals and the African spirituality that she tried out. She was into trying to worship shrines and whatnot. She was influenced by somebody from America to come to Ghana to hook up with this fake prince, I don't know, Yoko, and they had a big falling out, and somehow, you know, they were affiliated with witchcraft and stuff like that, or people around his camp was. And she was being sought after, messed with. She feels like her life was in danger. And she's just trying to give a testimony as to what happened to her, why shrine worship is not necessary, and that you should avoid trying to get partaking in or participating in any of that type of practice.
Give alcohol to things outside of yourself, assuming that you're going to somehow become this magical, pristine, starlit being, popular and loved, filled with money. Look at the results of your life. It's temporary. You feel good when it happens, doing your little prayers and your sacrifices, giving people little donuts and whatever. And then 3 weeks later, you got to go back to the shrine. Why? Because guess what? They have divined that something bad is happening around you. Why is something bad happening around you? Because who saw it? You allowed someone else to look into your life and create a scenario that does not exist. Doesn't exist. Doesn't. They created it for you, and you believed it. So what do we do about giving our power over to shrines and all kinds of whatever random spirits and ideologies that we assume are so powerful? All you have to do is look at the results. Are they really powerful? They are not. It's not helping African people. It's not helping anyone. Indigenous people, it's not helping anyone. Look at the results. I'm not blaming Indigenous people for their outcome. I'm just asking for us to look at the results. Are we praying to things outside of ourselves, conjuring up spirits, doing this and that, to things that are outside of ourselves, gods, spirits, outside of ourselves? That's why here you're the being, you're existing, and you don't believe yourself. You don't believe yourself. You believe an entity that you have never met, seen. You don't know its origins. You don't know its bloodline. They can lie to you and tell you, oh, this is your bloodline, and these are your ancestors. It's a lie. It's all a lie. 100% a lie. They are taking money.
I'm glad she's telling this truth, because there's a lot of people that's really attracted to this African spirituality I've been noticing. And a lot of people are trying to promote the worship of shrines. And so it's good that she's coming out to talk about it. But like I said, this is a way in which shrines are used to manipulate people and also change their life. You know, the spirit of whatever could come upon that person through these shrines. And it could affect how they move and how unprotected they'll become, making them vulnerable and wide open for other things to happen to them. And this type of stuff happens in Africa. It happens globally. But I don't think a lot of us think about spirituality and think about spirits and demons and angels and God and the devil. We don't understand that we are tempted a lot of times behind different spirits. And sometimes we fail, and sometimes we can get wrapped up, caught up with what we decide to do in one moment. And it ruins your life forever, or it could take you out. Either or.
From innocent people who do not know any better because they don't know where they come from. They don't have any identity. It's not your fault.
Again, us having identity issues is not the truth. This is kind of like the same rhetoric that Pan-Africans are pushing. I was not having an issue 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, 30, 40, 50 years ago. Why am I having an issue now? But this is what Pan-Africans keep saying. We have an identity crisis. People are putting an identity crisis upon us. And people are bringing that up as an issue for all that's going wrong with us here in America. They're trying to narrate what our problems are. And that, I don't think, is it. I think not accepting yourself for being someone as an American is the problem. Acceptance. But I don't think it's an identity problem. I think that people are being influenced not to accept themselves. That's what I think.
That these things are happening, but it's happening. So we have to become aware of what we are doing to ourselves. We're doing it to ourselves because we don't know. We don't know any better. And so, I feel so saddened, to hear that people actually come to this town for these things, thinking that they're going to be uplifted, saved, helped in some way, that they're going to gain benefits. It's all temporary. It's all temporary. Our origins does not like us to seek, pray, worship anything outside of ourselves. Anyone that's doing that, look at the results. All you have to do is look at the environment. That's all you have.
One thing I could say, she's being pretty bold to be speaking out, though. Chat Lives Matter in Ghana, living there in Ghana. So it is a bit of a risk for her to take, to speak this way in the belly of Ghana. So I have to give her a little bit of credit for doing this. Yes, she flip-flopped. She did try out witchcraft or African spirituality. She did worship shrines and whatnot, like you're saying. You said that she's this now, but back when she was into it, she preached with just as much conviction, and she'll do the same with the next thing she gets into. There are too many people with microphones. I think that in this case, with her going through the motions to get up out of that lifestyle, she had to go through a lot to force it off of her. She had determination to change. And so you have to give her a little bit of room to, make a change. But if she flops right back to that, that would be, an indicator that she was probably lying the whole time. But if she stay on this path, I think it's a good thing for her to do. You said I had to stop watching this woman's coverage of the Gambian woman because she was just talking and smiling and making it about her. I think she just likes to hear herself speak. And Easy Act says a lot of it is connected to ancestor worship. Yup. All of our ancestors were not good people. Imagine worshiping a slave seller or murderer. Exactly. And Jazzy Nation says Trump 2024. I hope so. We'll have to see.
What what is going on with people that are doing this? What is really going on in their lives? Let's move to a different thought. Thoughts of
I don't trust Peacemaker. I just weigh in the pros and cons. I can listen to something and peel off the meat and spit out the bone. I don't take anything that someone says wholeheartedly as being the gospel, because we are flawed. So I take it for what it's worth for the moment. You know, you can eat off what is good, and then the stuff that doesn't make sense or is not adding anything to you, you just ignore it or you spit it out. But I understand what you're saying. You're not going to trust her now or never. I get it.
oppression. Let's call them patterns instead. Patterns of oppression. Patterns of woe is me. Patterns of they're against me. Patterns of oppression. Patterns of they're against me. Patterns of chaos. Patterns of just mess. I don't know if you guys can see. I'm not going to call any names, but I want to know in the comment section if you guys have observed how there's cries of terror from so many sides of this here planet, of how someone outside of ourselves is doing something to me. Free this person, free them, do stop this, they need to, they. And not once does anyone ever say, perhaps I need to stop doing what I'm doing too. It's called taking responsibility for our own behavior, our own actions. I'm in awe right now at the levels of intellect that I'm observing. I'm not saying I'm the smartest thing on the planet, but sheesh, to justify, I don't care where you come from, who you think you are, chosen, not chosen, I don't care. But to justify anything, like to justify anything that harms another in any way, based off of you did it to me, like that level of thinking should show humans that we are in trouble. It frightens me to know that there are sects of people out there who, if they had an opportunity to enslave you, to control your life, to control how you wear your hair, how you dress, they would be so happy to control and stop you from being you. Ooh. I think about it sometimes like, okay, let's look at this, let's look at a different, let's look at some scenarios here. Because there are certain people out there that want to control this whole planet based on their ideals. And I imagine my life if these people were to take over. Would I be able to speak like this? Absolutely not. I'd probably be dead. I would most likely rather be dead than to live under that thought concept. That is oppression. Oh, guys.
Okay, so I think that that's enough right there. The whole thing for us to remember that others can affect our mood. They can affect our action if you are open your portals of mind and spirit to have people that are part of other religions to influence you, or maybe they put a spell on you. And you can open yourself up to spells by worshiping like other gods and other shrines that she's trying to describe what happened to her. She pretty much was losing her mind. She was pretty much going out of here, going crazy. And she realized that that way of thinking and trying to get connected to the ancestor talk was not working out the way in which she thought it would. And a lot of us can never get back to a place of normalcy. So I really hope that this is authentic in what she showcased. I hope that are discussion about the shrine. If you guys want to look at it more, you can. But getting back to this notion that we need to integrate to Africa, again, this debate about what to do with Black Americans, as if we're the only people in the world that's being told what to do. No other group of people is affected like we are being affected by this notion of integration or moving or going somewhere else other than where we are. But nobody seems to think that we have the right mind to make our own decision, that we have to be like shepherd, like sheep. And that mindset is prevalent on YouTube. The manipulation is prevalent on YouTube. The influences of brainwashing tactics, gaslighting tactics is increasingly prevalent on YouTube. And, you know, I just try to point out why we're having hiccups and why we are not on one accord. And Pan-Africanism is number one, I believe.
You are at in America or the UK, wherever you are at. You need to connect with Gambians in your local communities first. This will become your extended Gambian family. They are going to shout out to O'Shea Duke Jackson. My bad, O'Shea. I had to go live. Let me get to the chat real quick. Thank you. You already own 45 pair of sandals. So you in already. You damn right. You know what, O'Shea? With your super chat, I'm going to go buy me another pair of sandals. With your super chat, O'Shea, with the super chat you just gave me, I'm going to go buy me another pair of sandals. I appreciate it. Dynas, I'm coming. Coming where? Oh, you're coming to synagogue with me? Well, Isaac, listen.
Let me fast forward this a tidbit.
When I used to personal train at a gym called the Omni in Atlanta, in Athens. Hair braiding. Nope, Senegalese and Gambians got the hair braid game on lock here in Atlanta. Senegalese and Gambians run the hair braid. Back to what I was saying. When I was in Athens, Georgia, I used to personal train at a gym called the Omni. And so I ran track with a guy, I forgot his name. And so he would come work out at my gym where I was personal training. Guys, hit the like button. Come on, hit the like button. And shout out to O'Shea for the super chat, for the support. I appreciate you, O'Shea. Thank you. Thank you, brother. You always be supporting. Y'all, shout out to O'Shea Duke Jackson. Listen, the first time I met O'Shea in person was in Sacramento back, I think, in like 2017 or maybe 2016. Me and O'Shea met at the Starbucks on Broadway, Sacramento. So when I pulled up to meet O'Shea, O'Shea had a fresh blue microphone waiting for me. He gave it to me. This is the first time we meeting him. He gave me a brand new microphone. That's how good of a brother O'Shea is. O'Shea is a good brother. And I could do a better job reciprocating. But O'Shea is a good brother. So shout out to O'Shea, man. Every time O'Shea comes in the chat, he super chats. So shout out to you. But okay, so I was at the gym. So I had already graduated. I was working. I was a personal training at a gym called the Omni in Athens, Georgia. And one of my former track teammates, he threw the shot put. He did the throw, shot put and javelin or whatnot. He was like, yeah, Dynas, I'm going to come out. This is a white guy. He said, Dynas, I'm going to come up with a t-shirt line called The Barbershop. I said, okay, why is it called The Barbershop? And this is back in 2006. He said, yeah, Dynas, I'm going to come up with a t-shirt line called The Barbershop. And I said, okay, this is a white guy. I said, why? Why call it the barbershop? He said, because in the black community, that's really the only thing you guys have, that you guys own. Those are his exact words. And it kind of went over my head. He's like, yeah, because in the black community, this is the barbershop is what you guys really only own in your community, the barbershop. So that's why I don't understand why black Americans specifically get so damn offended when they ain't integrating into our community, why they get so offended about that. Integrated to what? That's just integrated to what? Right, the barbershop is the only thing we truly have a monopoly on. Because I remember one time I went into a Supercuts. They told me, they said, like, I went into the Supercuts. They told me, like, the majority of the barbers there. And I'm trying to figure out to myself, how do you get a barber license? How do you get a cosmetology license, whatever it's called, to do hair, cut hair, and you can't do black hair? Because I remember I went into a barbershop, Supercuts, and they were just looking around. Oh, we got to find somebody who can cut your hair texture. I'm like, huh? What do you mean cut my hair texture?
Yeah, Dynas is easily influenced. Chat Lives Matters. He said it's wild. He just took what the white guy said and now he's preaching it like the gospel. Yeah, he is. He's just trying to show that, in other words, we're diminishing. We really don't have nothing left here in America. We only have barbershops, so to speak, that we're on the verge of collapse anyways. So we might as well integrate with Africa. This is his spill. This is all he is on. He is on a mission. He has given an allegiance. He's taken an oath, I believe. I believe he's a part of a secret society. He's been given orders to try to get us with the mindset that is conducive to be pliable to Pan-Africanism. But most of us are not there. No matter what happens here, we still don't want to start all over in a whole nother continent with a whole nother set of people and problems. We don't see anything that's worthy, in my opinion, to put myself on the line, my neck on the line, to take the risk to self-sacrifice myself, because that is like a sacrifice. You're going blindly into something that's totally not you, with totally different people and views, mindsets, spirituality, religion, God, everything, totally different. And they want us to just throw everything to the wind towards Africa. And like I said, a lot of people are going to lose out on trying to go that direction, but this is what is being preached. That's why the incident in Gambia is very, very suspect and crazy that it happened in the time that it's been happening, because these people now are not able to talk about repatriation like they boldly have been. It's a big hit when it came to the death of Shakina. And he knows it, but he's coming out talking about integration. He's coming out talking about why not? You have nothing else to lose. You guys are so bad off in America. You shouldn't concern yourself with just America. They don't really respect you over there anyway, so you might as well go. Well, he doesn't have this conversation with the Africans, though. He doesn't tell them not to come over because you'll end up like Black Americans and be looking like them or whatever. No, he doesn't encourage none of that, because he believes that the flexibility of Africans should be abound. It should be anywhere in all things. But for us, we're supposed to be done. We're supposed to do what we're told. And people think that they can make us do what they're telling us to do. And they're having these conversations on purpose.
Like, what do you mean cut my hair texture? Yeah, we got to find somebody who cut your hair texture. I'm just saying to myself, my hair texture, like, how do you, like, get a license to cut hair and do hair, and you only can do certain textures? That threw me off. Like, that really threw me off. So again, the best thing to do before you move to Africa, you need.
But who says they're moving to Africa? This is what I'm talking about. He's talking about before you move. People have just been declared dead. We should not be talking about moving to Africa. So again, this is propaganda. This is brainwashing. This is gaslighting. This is bashing. This is a stupid show. It's pointless.
Again, you need, to find a family, an African family here, whatever country you're going to, and get to know that family, and that becomes your extended family. That is the best way to do it. Now, sisters and some brothers, but majority sisters, because I only hear this from the sisters. I don't hear about this from the brothers on the level I do from the sisters. Like, I done found me my fiance. He met me. I met him on Facebook. Listen, I don't know what to tell you about that. You handle your business. I don't, do you want to count that? That's fine. I found my fiance on Facebook. That's on you. I don't know how to, I don't even know how to handle that. I've been getting that a lot lately. Y'all, hit the like button. Hit the like button as you come to the chat room. Yes, you need a host family. The sisters that find their fiancés on Facebook, they become your fiance before you even meet them. That's a whole separate conversation. I'm gonna stay out of that one. I'm staying out of that one. To each his own. Handle your business. Be careful. It's whatever.
It's whatever. People have died. It's whatever. Again, men can change up on you once you get to know them, and it's whatever. People should not rely on Facebook or media outlets or whatever to date, but that's how people are being met these days. Men are doing it all over the place. Women are now doing it too. I would just say, be smart about how you meet people. Be smart about whether or not it's worth the risk when you have never met this person. More than likely, it could be a scam. So you must be wary and careful. You must test the spirit. If they start asking for money, then you know what it is. He could say a number of things. You don't have to say it's whatever, because it should not be whatever. Dying is not whatever. But that's where he goes. That's where he goes. Come on. Stupid phone.
Well, listen, I'm gonna put the link in the chat room. Like I said, guys, this is hold on. Okay. Like I said, guys, I'm on a new platform. So y'all bear with me. Okay, there we go. Guys, click that link. Click that link. Somebody click that link and call in. And hit the like button too. But click that link and call in. Like I said, this is
Let me see what you guys are saying. Let me go back up. Okay, Mike Ferguson says, this is so sad how we lost who lost we are. Drop that we. Chat Lives Matter says. Every group has their own haircut industry and their own beauty and barber shops. Mike Ferguson says, no, I ain't dropping nothing. We are a people, whether you accept it or not. Stan says, what happened to the idea of cooperative unity? Well, you have to find people to be like-minded, Stan, to cooperate with that. If it is a scenario that is far-fetched for you to unify with the concept, how can you cooperate with it? People are coming out of left field talking about a whole nother continent and a whole nother life and a whole nother different chapter as being a solution for a problem that's pending. And not all of us wants to run for the hills. Not every one of us cares to do that. So how can you cooperate with that? But people expect us to somehow cooperate with that. And that's lunacy. That is confusion. That makes your mind go crazy. Michael Ferguson says, exactly, bro. They lost, like I said. Chat Lives Matter says, we are many different people thrown under the same banner that disregards the details of our individual ethnicities because it does not matter to them. It shouldn't matter to us. Exactly. You said something point on right that we should call ourselves what we want to be called. We should claim what we want to claim, and we should abstain from all the other things that is trying to pull us apart and cause us to lose our way with what it is our reality needs to be about. Stan says, I think we're all lost in the mess, to be honest, man. Regardless if you think it affects you, let's just keep our eyes on, keep the tunnel to a more logical, critical thinking world. That doesn't happen too often, though. Mason says, man. Michael Ferguson says, to be technical, you correct, but I'm not with the divide and conquer. So I say we until you show you're not a part of the collective. Well, some people are going to have to get cut off, though. You know, sometimes that's what happens. We cut people off that's dead weight to you, Michael Ferguson. I've cut off my family members from time to time because they were dead weight. They were negative. They were bringing negative energy. They were making me sick. They were making me depressed. So I had to do away with some of those family members and cut them off for good. Sometimes it has to be like that. You have to get with people that think like you, that perceives the world like you do. Because again, people are looking to just take a hold and take control and, you know, make you go stir crazy and make you lose your mind. And that's what is going on right now, because we are not more spiritual like we used to be. I think that we lost our way spiritually, which is making us more vulnerable physically and emotionally. That's why you see the emotional back and forth with men arguing online, and everybody's so confused about where we need to think on and how we need to be collectively, because so many people have so many different ideologies that don't align with one another, that is not the same and going in the same direction as one another. So you can't cooperate with that. You said, Michael Ferguson says, Stan, that's what I'm saying, brother. Can we talk about logical solutions instead of blaming our own for things we don't even have control over? Some things we do have control over. Some things we can stop doing or doing as much. I don't know who that is. Genuine says, we fight to stay, but that place is about to blow up. Everywhere is blowing up, though, Genuine, to be honest. Where can you go where it's not blowing up at? Where exactly is this place at where you can go? Chat Lives Matter says, Michael Ferguson, the one drop rule defined a marketplace and what was legal product for the market during the slave trade, but Black is actually a diversity marker. We are not the same. We are not the same. You have a lot of common views like I do, Chat Lives Matter. I appreciate you being here. Michael Ferguson says, trust me, I understand, sister. Yeah. And chat lives matter. I get that part, and I know what black means, but to say we are all different is nonsense. To a certain point, we are different, Michael. A lot of us don't worship the same God, for instance. A lot of us don't share the same mindset. Some people want to take from you and parasite off of you. The other one is trying to just survive and trying to live their life. A lot of that's going on. It's a difference of spirituality. It's a difference of a spirit for a lot of the things that you cannot relate to. And I don't want to be forced to relate to something that's, in my mind, demonic, or in my mind, out of control, or just scary, or unsure about. I don't want to have to relate to people where my understanding is lacking and I can be easily influenced against my will. I don't want to be around that type of scenario. So not everybody can get along. It's just impossible. Just think about all the people that commit crimes that's in jail now, or dead, or dying. You still don't want to be around them on any level if they had been a messed up person all their life. You don't want their spirit rubbing off on you. You want to avoid those types of people that are toxic or negative or demonic or devilish or sneaky, slicky, evil. And we have to admit that not everybody's good. That's it, no matter what you want to call it, not everybody's good. Come on, not everybody. Genuine says, I remain nowhere I am not wanted. Might as well trust God and move with wisdom to where he reveals is your place of rest. Hello, the fish. Michael Ferguson says, I know that, sister. I mean, as a nation, I know we don't all believe, but we can agree that we want what's best for ourselves and our people because it's all that matters. But what's best for us, Michael? That's the thing. What's best for us? What do you presume is being best for us right now with everything going on right now in 2024? What rings true to you as being best for us as a collective? Skeptic says, you'll keep pulling from opposite ends. You're just going to end up pulling yourself apart. Don't focus on the differences, focus on the common goal. But that's just it. People say they have the common goal, but they don't. They want to use you and spit you out. They want to backstab you while you give up your backside. While you're thinking you're working alongside of someone does something else outside of what they claimed that they were going to do and backstab you. That's just the reality of what it is. We can't trust everything. It's just not going to work out. A good common ground should be the truth. Well, I'm still waiting on what that is. I don't know. Michael, we are different. Genuine says, we are all different. You have devils who are black colored too. Exactly. What are you talking about? Exactly. That's why I wanted to show the warlock that used to be, that talked about what he was into. Chat Lives Matter says, respectfully, that is not what I said. My point is that the details of our ethnicities matter. Recognize the difference between race and ethnicity. Facts. Michael Ferguson says, Genuine, I know that. So what do you mean what I am saying? Amen. Fudgy says, what's best for America is good leader who comes from Red Indians. I don't know about that part, but you know, you have your opinion. But let's get back to this integration again of Dynasty Mir. Again, he thinks that our only last hope is to integrate with Africa, even though there's women dying in the Gambia, even though that's the biggest story that just broke. He still feels integration, repatriation is the mission. He has given an oath to someone about keeping allegiance to having the submission go on, no matter what, even if it don't make sense. And that's what they do.
Like I said, this is a new platform, streaming platform. We my cousin met her Facebook fiance in Ibadan. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They meet on Facebook. You know, hey, that's the route you want to go. Hey, more power to you. Good luck. It's not StreamYard. We on Ecamm. Let me try this out real quick. Let's see here. Here we go. Edit background. Here we go. Color. Yeah, I'm trying something new.
And by the way, everybody, if you could please like the video. I'm gonna fast forward this a little bit. Please share the video. Subscribe to my channel. I would greatly appreciate that. I'm trying to open up my platform to have more conversations such as the one I'm having and the ones that I've been having, keeping up with what's going on in West Africa and also America that affects us today, here and now in 2024. I think it's imperative that we discuss harder topics because things are getting harder.
Okay, we're gonna do it like that. Oh, there we go. Okay, here we go. All right, go ahead, Shaw. You're muted.
Oh, God.
Hear you now. Go ahead.
Let me fast forward this.
Buy certain things for the Orisha when I'm making offering.
Oh, Lord. He talking about Arisa. Oh, no. Hold on.
So, and then the other part about that is to connect with those brothers and sisters with what we can do to make money with their connections back home. Because they might have, trees, orchard or something, or they might make shea butter, or they might do something. And then we might be able to engage in a two-way kind of relationship where, we could help to do business, with them, with whatever they have, and then get them going here. So, and it's interesting, Dak.
Doesn't he look like he's possessed right here, y'all? I wonder if people have hypnotized him or has gotten him in some type of hex or some kind of spell. He looks like he's partaking in some type of spell or something. Look at his eyes, y'all. Look.
Yes, I'm in New York, right? So I go to buy my African foods because I buy certain things for the Orisha when I'm making offering. So I go down 116th Street in Harlem. This time, and I was kind of expecting it. When I tell you it was wall-to-wall brothers on 116th, right when you get in the area where they have all the Senegalese and Malian little grocery stores or a few little restaurants here and there. They got an organization for the Senegalese, some kind of nonprofit. Bro, it was just, they were all out on the sidewalk too. I'm like, these brothers, I'm sure they need work, but at least they're hanging out in a place that's familiar to them. That they have people, and they're just like ordinarily it would be just a few people walking down the street. It was hundreds and hundreds. So these are the migrants that are coming through Mexico, I would believe. So. Yeah, that was interesting.
Okay. Yeah, links in the chat room. Link is in the chat room. Yeah, a lot of them are coming to Georgia too. The Senegalese and Gambia. Yeah, I'm like, come on, bring them.
Again, so if everybody's coming up over here, why we got to go? Why we got to integrate with Africa? They're coming over here. If we can't integrate with them over here, if we can't combine or unify over here, what's the point of talking about Africa? What's the point? Look, he said, bring them all.
We need more, right? Yeah, bring them. We need more. Yeah, let them come. We need more.
Mm-hmm. Bring more, and that'll be good to get an economy going. With
I swear, this man has got a spell on him, y'all. He be tripping me out sometimes.
With the folks in the areas, because a lot of them will probably start off with the bike delivery because they got a lot of delivery jobs with the bicycles and DoorDash and all that stuff. So I'm sure that, because a lot of them do that now. But, and I hear the brothers and sisters here?
Mind you, this man messes around with shrines and whatnot. In fact, let me play this video because I'm tired of him just sitting up there looking stupid. And the guy that's speaking is kind of boring. Again, the integration to Africa when you're not trying to live there is kind of pointless to even have the conversation. But that's the conversation that Dynasty Mir thinks we need to continue to have, irregardless if it doesn't even make sense. He wanted to point out that religion is, or spirituality is, African spirituality isn't the problem. It's supposedly our problem. Now, this topic came up because of the Gambian situation with 5 mysterious Black American deaths and 1 murder. And one of the people talked about it being some type of witchcraft or spirituality, African spirituality going on, shrines and whatnot is happening. Anja Africa pointed that out. And so he's trying to say, hey, hold up, stop talking about African spirituality because that's not what's happening here. It's the people that's partaking in the spirituality that's causing a problem, not the religion itself or the spirituality itself attaching itself to the person and causing a problem for them. Listen to this.
Well, I hope your Monday is off to a great start. Do me a favor, hit the like button again. Please hit the like button. Also, make sure you share and make sure you subscribe. Once again, thank you so much for joining. It really means a lot. It really means a lot. Before we get started, guys, once again, I'm using this new streaming platform.
Let me fast forward this a little. Hold on.
Voodoo, Ifa.
Hold on. Here we go.
Again, it seems as if African spirituality is on trial. And you have people on the internet who are criticizing African spirituality, whether it be Voodoo, Ifa, to name a few. Let me say this. African spirituality isn't the problem. Once again, African spirituality is not the problem. It's not the issue. You are the problem. You are the issue. You don't understand the number of people who reach out to me in regards to questions regarding African spirituality. Let me give this disclaimer. I am not a Babalawo. I'm not a voodoo priest. All I do is direct people in the, give people the right information. That's all I do. I just guide people and I point them in the right direction. That's what I do. Again, I'm not a Babalawo. I'm not an Ifa priest. I'm not a voodoo priest. I'm not. I just point people in the right direction when they reach out to me.
He points people in the right direction to go involve themselves in voodoo and shrine worship and ancestry worship or whatever else is out there as African spirituality. He is like the go-to guy to link us up to these crazy notions of this different spirituality that is not ours, that is not a part of our culture, not a part of our history. But this is what he is doing. And he's trying to rep for their spirituality because he tours to different festivals that involve like the Unshun worship and some other festivals that he partakes in with the worship of shrine and whatnot. So this is what he's on. This is what he's on.
But it's not fair. It's not fair to African spirituality to blame African spirituality when there's no solution to the amount of baggage that you bring to the practice. Again, we cannot blame African spirituality when you're bringing a ton of baggage. Go and fix that relationship with your children. Go and mend that relationship with your mama, with your daddy. See, you have mama, you have daddy issues, you got this issue, You got that issue, which could be easily fixed by having a conversation. Or better yet, go and sit down with a counselor. Go and see a professional counselor. Go get counseling. I know some talented Black counselors. Go and do that. Start there first. But you bring all this baggage to these practitioners, to these Babalawos, to these Ifa priests, then you're mad and you want to blame them. They say that they're the problem. Go and fix that issue with your ex-spouse, ex-husband, ex-wife, that family member. You know, you might have had an issue when you were younger regarding molestation. I mean, Black folks have been recently bringing so much of their issues and their baggage to Africa. Now you want to blame Africa. Now you want to blame the culture. It's the culture's fault. You want to blame the culture now. All this baggage you're bringing that Africans are like, huh? What? But it's Africa's fault. Listen, your American Western baggage has nothing to do with Africa. I said this before, you got to check all that shit at the airport here in America as much as possible before you get on that plane. And I've said this before too, and I'm going to walk this back. I've made comments in the past in regards to, Black folks going to Africa for healing. I've said that. I want to retract that statement. You need to heal over here first. Again, you need to heal over here first.
I say avoid those religions and practices altogether. That's what I say. That's what I'm going to say. Speaking of Aja, Africa, I wanted to play something in remembrance to her because she always had a word to spread awareness about. These deaths, he can't explain away with trying to tag the victim as the person to be the problem in the situation when people are practicing witchcraft and trying to do more marabou on you, like may have happened in the Gambia. We don't know what happened to 5 women in the Gambia. We don't know the circumstances to which cost their lives. That's why it is imperative that we just tell the truth that you should avoid the Gambia. If you are a single woman, avoid the Gambia. Talking about your baggage coming from America to deal with the spirituality of Africa is not a good remedy to me, or it's not a good solution to do. Here's Angel Africa. She had always had a message in her artistry. Rest in peace to her, and condolences to everybody.
Act like you know, act like you know, act like you know, oh, oh, oh. It's only fair to warn you, I'm not the one. I'm not the one to play with. See, I grew up slapping the ish out of people who looked at you wrong. Then I learned you can't slap the stupid out of infidels. Then I learned to cut you with my lazy words. I say some ish, have you choking eyes, bulging, and you be clutching your pearls. Who said words never hurt? You remember, sticks and stones will break your bones, but yeah, that's because you didn't meet me. I'm a wordsmith, energy transformer. I'll say some shit, have you contemplating your worth, your life. So I learned to speak with love. If I don't appreciate something you've done, I won't bite my tongue. I will tell you in love in that moment. That was foul. How do you think I should respond to that? Now I know you're not being disrespectful. No grudges, no hard feelings. Talk like adults, hash it out. Show emotional intelligence. You start raising your voice, talking slick, I exit left. Act like you know, act like you know, act like you know, I do not engage with beings that don't value themselves. If you're not capable of that, you can't value me. You will not lower my vibration with that dark empath shit. Tricks are for kids, games are for lames. Here's what these weak wanna-be me's never do. Step to me, face to face, in my God space. Cause they know I don't joke, and they really don't want this smoke. My spirit team runs deep. I'm talking through other realms. I'm a deity personified, resurrected and divinely protected. Act like you know, act like you know, act like you know, So tell all your peeps, cause mine don't play games. They will come out of body. So keep my name out your toxic mouth before you purchase a ticket and get that celestial whooping. Smack down, beat down, lock down. Act like you know, act like you know, act like you know, Keep playing, trying to be a pseudo witch, casting spells, playing with jinns, causing havoc, blocking chakras. You don't know about that boomerang called karma? Karma and divine justice called my eye. They was like, yo, we meeting at your spot. My eye was like, I don't have time or the inclination to mix with these irrelevant, basic, low frequency holders. Karma and divine was like, you have to be there. You hold the frequency. My eye was like, my rules are clear, clear, clear. Act like you know, act like you know, act like you know, Hate to see you in a wood box with them spiritual locks, sitting around worrying about me. But the fact of the matter is, you want to be me. Which me? You only see one part, that part that unsettles you. So instead of you going inside, you want to take my breath and attempt to block my bag. But that's why you suffering from dis-ease in and on your body now. Act like you know, act like you know, act like you know, See, God chose me for this assignment. And as God's child, that makes me a God. I am the light, earth angel, walking karma. I am all things you refuse to see in yourself. Take a deep breath of hope and exhale the trauma. Stop blaming mama and them and tap in. Everything you're looking for in me is at the end of your fingertips. How can you say you believe in God when you're running errands for the devil every day? Heart so filled with them 7 deadly sins. You walking around with a scarlet letter L on your third eye. You are a narc clone. You want my skin, my face, my style, my swag. You will never be me. I'll always be light years ahead. Cause the Most High plans my steps. You all up in my social media daily, clocking everything I do. I should pay you for your diligence as my virtual assistant. But instead, I'll pray for you to raise your vibration. Hiding in your vessel, whack-ass keyboard ninjas and cyber stalkers. Is that what you've reduced yourself to? How small you must feel to allow someone who's living their best life to deter you from living yours. I keep telling you clowns you can't copy when there's no comparison. This ain't even crabs in a barrel, this is survival of the fittest. Lions don't worry about ants. Lions don't worry about ants. Act like you know. Act like you know. Act like you know. Oh, oh, oh. P.S. Be you. You're enough. God gave us all the same keys to paradise.
That was Anja Africa. Rest in peace to her. I thought that was fitting with talking about the spirituality talk. I tried not to make it too heavy, but I just wanted us to consider what types of spiritual beings or demons or presence or spirits are drawn to us or influencing us or overtaking us or controlling us or trying to frustrate us. I think that a lot of us never consider thinking about spiritual matters, but spiritual things are happening every single moment of the day. Through people, you can see devils, you can see God, you can see innocence, you can see righteousness, you can see wickedness, evilness. And we don't want to be any of those things, wickedness and evil. So I suggest, if you can, not partake in so many different religions or spiritualities that it confuses you to the point where you have left yourself wide open for demonic presence to come and overtake you, influence you to be stagnated or stuck on stupid or emotional, too emotional. There are way too many people that are not in control of their emotions, and there's a spirit behind all of that. And we need to work on ourselves and consider what we can do to get out of dealing with wicked people or wicked things. What's up, Seven Golly? How you doing? Thank you for appearing, and everybody that's listening. Let me see what you guys are saying before I conclude. Let's see. What's up, Easy Axe again? Okay. All right. So let me go here. Skeptic says there's so many different types of religions and spirituality. It's oversaturated and unfalsifiable. You'll never find truth in it. Truth comes from hard evidence. Okay. Charlie Shaw says, Michael, unity, like everything else, starts at home. Black Americans need to be Black American first and then care about unity towards anyone else. Yeah, care about the people that's around you. Care about the homeless people. Care about the people that's right next to you that might have an issue. You know, you don't have to go and, I mean, if they need you, I guess if they look like they are in need, and you might want to reach out and help them if your spirit is drawn to that. Sometimes it's good to, you know, be drawn to certain people. Sometimes it's not so good. You have to really have discernment these days to know who and what and when is the time to be open to help people out. But I would say it needs to start at home, like you said, Charlie Shaw. How you doing? Easy X says, Dinus may be a reincarnated ancestor from the past that is doing the bidding of evildoers. It's not a stretch to say that. Be careful with this panty. He is definitely under my impression that there might be some type of spell that happens. He's been bowing down to different gods in African spirituality, going to shrines, doing voodoo, all these different things that he's been doing throughout the years. There is no telling how it has affected his mindset. It is definitely, he acts as if he has given an oath that he is now on a mission. And that mission is to unpry us away from America. That's what his mission is. And he's being propped up by Nigerians, Sierra Leoneans. He's trying to get y'all to get passports in Sierra Leone. He's trying to get you to travel to Nigeria, Sierra Leone, or Senegal, wherever he's going to make the money. That's where he's trying to take you. But again, the deaths in the Gambia that have recently happened is not to be blown over and swept underneath the rug, which they all are trying to do. All these Pan-Africans are trying to diminish the deaths of 6 women in the Gambia. And these attempts to dismiss just shows how wicked and subservient they are to a cult or the cult mindset that it takes for you to carry forth an agenda or a mission. I feel like he's been touched by something. And, you know, he doesn't really have a real concern or consideration for these women. He's like, oh, if you want to mess around with people from the Facebook or all these other sites or whatever happens to you, okay, that's your fault. That's on you. Again, something is going on in the mind and the spirit of Dynas Demir to be the way that he is talking at us still after these deaths. You should take a break from talking these talks about integration to Africa, but no, instead of him warning, he's saying integrate. Instead of warning us, he's saying get to know a family in America that corresponds to a country in Africa. He's telling us to go forward still. Self-sacrifice yourself. This is all you got. This is all we're going to give to you. Anytime there's a so-called solution, it's going to involve Africa. That's all we're going to continue to hear. We're not going to hear anything else. Chat Lives Matter says he's looking at himself as he's talking. Yeah, he does, doesn't he? Chat Lives Matter says there was a time when the only people with audience to talk to were people that worked their way up to a position that people respected enough to listen to them. YouTube gave mics to everybody. That's a fact. Everybody and anybody can have a page and speak. And some people don't care about what they say and how they say it. I try to be careful. I try to think things through as I go. That's why I'm kind of hesitant when I speak, because I'm trying to think before I speak. Genuine says, Charlie, I agree, but I have had so many who don't want to work united. So, of course, we begin to look elsewhere. Some of us, I'm sure, had better results with a foreigner. Wow. Have a better results with foreigner. I don't know. Like I said, it's all a gamble. It's all a gamble. Didn't mean to out those M's there before my statement, Charlie Shaw says. Michael Ferguson says, everything I'm saying is about uniting us here in America. I cannot think about other nations until we get our stuff together. Sorry for not being clear on that. Yeah, we have to be unified here, and we're having a hard time unifying because we have different people that think about different things. If you're thinking about 100 years ago and you're stuck in that mindset of that spirit, that's a spirit. That's a procrastination spirit. That is a spirit of escapism. That is a fraudulent spirit. A spirit of Marcus Garvey that told people they were going to go to another place and they never left. They were defrauded. That is the spirit that people still want to follow behind. They still want to believe in a fraudulent Marcus Garvey that never succeeded in anything that he claimed he was trying to do. But these men are stuck on Marcus Garvey still. And then we wonder why we cannot have morality enough to feel some kind of way about what's happening to us here. I feel so numb right now. I am angered, but I feel more numb right now because it's like, it's pointless for me to have all this emotion when nobody else is having an emotion. So why go there? Let me see. Africa has so much baggage. Dynas does not speak on that. Yeah, they do. It's a scary place, a lot of different places of Africa. I am going to talk about Nigeria soon. I'm still doing my research. But their cost of living is really high. Their Naira has dropped. People are hungry. People are desperate. People are scrambling. And no, Dynas is supposed to be representing Nigeria. Why is he talking about Nigeria and the woes of Nigeria? Why is he always talking about Black Americans? Because we are their agenda. Like I've been saying, if he was for everybody that's Black, he would talk about everybody else that's Black. He don't talk about everybody else that's Black. He just talk about us. So that's an indicator that we are the agenda. Charlie Shaw says, genuine, I won't give up on my own people to even try my luck first with foreigners. I'd rather be alone than have to try out something new. I'm sorry. Unless my spirit is drawn to it, I'm not going. Chat Lives Matter says, single woman should not migrate anywhere alone. Not Gambia, not Chicago, not Japan, not Dallas, not anywhere. The family unit is the survival unit. Unfortunately, the men have dipped out and they have checked out a long time ago. So it is what it is right now for those women that have those children right now in, you know, home alone. You can't get random men to substitute for what the mistake of the man before him did. Because a lot of times that's going to be more of a problem, because these men, when you move them in, you can't move them out. Or if you do, it's going to be violence or worse. So, and it's not safe to bring random men in your home. So suddenly, if you have kids, you got to think about protection of your kids not being touched. But then at the same time, you want a man presence to make you feel more protected. What do you do as a woman? These days, it's so hard to decide what is there for you to do. So right now, people are kind of like stuck. You said, Genuine says, Charlie, I meant we have had more results working together with a foreigner instead of my own American colored people. You think so, Genuine? Wow. Oh, wow. Chat Lives Matter says, Genuine, respectfully, there is no such thing as colored person. That is the Unitarian language of the colonizer and slaver. Yeah, we had to go through all those different name changes, though, Chat Lives Matter. We're the only ones that can say that our history was all about changing of identity names. And that's why we need to nip it in the bud as far as what we wanted to call ourselves. I think you should do a self-declaration of your own identity, get it notarized, make a file of what it is, change your identity to say what your declaration of identity is. Work on trying to preserve your own identity like transgender people do, like gay people do, like other people are doing. What's wrong with us claiming our own identity as everybody else is seemingly doing? People want to make us over against what it is we want to be. That's the problem. And this is why I point out what Pan-Africans are trying to do. Genuine says, Charlie, trust me, I have rather given up on my own so-called African people. Why try to work with a backstabber, etc.? I heard that. Charlie Shaw says, Genuine, I've come to realize that I need to take a different approach when it comes to my people. So that's why I'll continue to try, because once we get it. I hope we do. That's hopeful thinking. I hope you're right, Charlie Shaw. I really do. Chat Lives Matter says, Genuine, every other nation has a spectrum of political and spiritual leanings. Only Black Americans are told that they should all think the same, and not thinking the same is evidence of brokenness. Yeah. I think that we should think the same as far as what direction we want to go in. And it seems like we're being torn, tug of war back and forth about Africa. That's all we keep hearing. We don't have people standing up for us. What's up, Sevengali? Yes, salute to Anja, Africa. Rest in peace to her. Queen of cautionary tales. Charlie Shaw says, maybe that's a reason for the disconnect. You think we all Pan-Africans. I only said that because you said we were all Africans. I'm not an African. None of us are Africans that are Black Americans. And that's just my thought. I've been American. We are mixed race people. We don't have the culture of African. We have lost everything connected to Africa, and that's just the reality of it all. I don't think that I need to force myself to make myself over to appease Africans or Pan-Africans. I don't think that I have to do anything like that. I am who I am. I accept who I am. That's the difference. People that has a problem with their identity are having a problem with accepting who they are. They are having a problem accepting who they are. Let me see. Let me pin this for you. I like your message. See if it works. Okay, so wish I could discuss that with you, Charlie Shaw. I've been thinking the same way. We need a brainstorming section, don't we? Unraveling the we is the key to seeing things clearly, in my opinion. Yes, knowing who is who. Yes, Anja Africa. Peace to her. Rest in peace. Easy X, I can really follow that. She is saying it's on another level and sounds controlling. And also rest in peace to the other women who have passed recently in the Gambia. I just don't know all their names. I know that there was one by the name of Mary, Victoria, Audrey, Anja, Shakina, and I think there's one more that I can't remember offhand. Charlie, my bad. You didn't understand, probably a typo. Hell no, we are not all African. Okay, that's right. Hit the like, everybody. Thank you for that, Seven Gali. If you could, please like and share the video. Please subscribe to my channel as well. You said only a few idiots from YouTube will follow them and end up deceased. Yeah. Like I said, these are the options. It's either you're going to become bankrupt. You're going to become homeless. You're going to have a situation where you can end up missing. You could have a situation where you can end up unalived. You could have a situation where, you know, you're destituted. You become like a refugee yourself, so bad off. All these things are going to be the doomsday effect to the return to Africa. Because like I said, a lot of people are buying up land. They're being bamboozled. They're losing their monies. They're getting tied up in court. That money is already spent. You're not going to get it back. These different changes of loss of money and bankruptcy is going to affect what you can do moving forward. A lot of people don't have a lot of strong network of friends and family. Then they are asked out more and more and more as time goes on. And that's what I'm seeing with trying to do this go back to Africa. Not a lot of people are going to be successful. You're going to have a few that's going to be propped up, that's going to be supported for the lenses of us to see, for us to see the Bag family successful, for us to see ES from DIY house and farm being successful, Homer farm being successful, and a few others. But by and large, more so than not, most of those people are struggling. They need donations to survive daily. They come on for hopes of trying to get donations because they don't have a job. They have a budget. The money's drying out. They're losing faith. They're losing hope. They're trying to scam. They're trying to scheme. And they're trying to sell the dream of Africa to us while they make money doing so. This is what's happening on that talk of repatriation. And that's why it's very ironic that Shakina Shinadu passed away, and she was the face of reparations for the Gambia. And so all these so-called Pan-Africans are trying to control the conversation to make it seem more like it's the women's fault for being alone. Not that it's dangerous, not that these men are seeking out vulnerable women and that it's just not a good place to go because of the crime level. That's not good enough to say. We have to place the blame onto the victim somehow. And saying that the spirituality of Africa, there's nothing wrong when clearly you have a woman that prophesied and also gave a testimony as that it is a problem. And also ES explained that it was a problem. It is a problem. Okay, all right. Seven Galley says exactly. He is just doing what evil people do. Exactly. Going after the low ones, going after the poor ones, just like the Bible description described in, was it Psalms 10? I think I read Psalms 10. It says, the wicked in his pride doeth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. For the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire, and blesseth his covetous, whom the Lord abhorreth. The wicked through the pride of his covenants will not seek after God. God is not in all his thoughts. His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above, out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. Wicked people are trying to take away and devour and spit out the poor, come after the people that are easily influenced. They just bad people, Seven Galley says. Chat Lives Matter says, we have buildings full of food, but hungry people. We have empty land and houses, but people homeless. Medicine for the sick, but people dying for lack. What shrine is responsible for that? Well, like I said, people are paying money for these shrines, according to ES, for a better way of life, for prosperity, for a blessing, for something. They go and do that for. And this is like taught to them that this is the way that you become successful or have success. And they pay money and they pray to these shrines to have this so-called upgrade. And it ends up opening them up to other things, other things that people are open to do against you. That's what her story was about, with dealing with people that taught her about the shrine. So that's why I brought that out. It's a spiritual battle a lot of times. A lot of us don't know what types of people practice what and why it has an effect against us sometimes. Charlie Shaw says they diminished it down to they didn't have a man. Yeah, exactly. What is really troublesome is that Black Americans still want to go there and eat, and even will go to the Gambia. Let them go. Hold their own. Like I said, I gave the warning. If people still want to go, then that's on them. And like I said, I'll report the deaths, though. I will report the deaths. Easy Access, good point, Charlie. Michael Ferguson says, you be speaking truth, sister. New subscriber. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Seven Golly says, I don't believe many go through with moving to Africa. Those evil people will keep trying, though. Yes, they will. That man in the video here can't even look straight into the camera. He is hiding info. You know he is lying. He looked like he's possessed, Genuine. Exactly, Charlie Shaw says. Yes, he's lurking. Yes, he is. Seven, I don't know. Maybe some have, and we don't know about. Human trafficking is big business, Genuine says. Seven Golly says that's absolutely correct also. Charlie Shaw says, chat, that's true. They hoard the food from other human beings. Yes, they do. Genuine says, Charlie, you already know he is lying. Read his body language. His eyes are avoiding looking straight. His hands all over the place. Yup. Chat Lives Matter says, there are no people in the history of the world that all thought the same. No nation in the world today either. Recognize that the lines that created Nigeria are European lines, not agreement lines, okay? Michael Ferguson says, I agree with what you are saying. Maybe we just had a little misunderstanding to Chat Lives Matter. Seven Galley says, shit, one of my exes is an African princess who lives in the States. She went from Africa to UK to New York. They killed her parents on her birthday. Wow. Her ex-husband used to abuse her. They cut her as a baby. Oh no. Whoa, that's deep. Seven Golly. Chat Lives Matter says, no, I didn't, or no, I didn't take it that way. I received everything you said. We all see what we see from where we sit. When we talk, we're just sharing our views. That's how I see it. Hi, Danny. Thank you for being a new sub. I appreciate it. Seven Golly says, I'm not saying too much because I saw her and one of her daughters are big YouTubers. Oh, are they? Wow. How you doing? Alessandro, how you doing? Hello. All right. So in closing, y'all, I think it's important that we understand more about the spirit realm. I know it's not probably a popular conversation to really talk about because it's kind of boring to a lot of other people, but other people see it as a essential conversation because we don't think about what people do spiritually. We don't think about their true intentions behind their spirituality. A lot of people are trying to use spirituality to manipulate us, to control us, to hex us, to put a spell on us, to make us feel a certain kind of way and have a certain type of hope and faith that we may not need to have. I think dealing with shrines opens you up to a lot of different other wickednesses that partake in that realm of life. And I know that Anja Africa was doing and dealing with a whole lot of different spiritualities that she probably regrets, you know, if she was alive to tell the story. But at least she was able to be useful and tell us why African spirituality is not the way to go and how that can influence you negatively. Sometimes if you're open to it, I think that if you're doing drugs and have a reprobate mind, like the Bible talks about, you are susceptible and vulnerable to different types of influences that are not of God. And you might want to consider working on your spirituality and your mind to be able to ward off evil influences or ideas that people place upon you or try to influence you to be a part of. Learn God your own way by yourself. You know, pray to God, talk to God, think about God, and see if that will maybe open up an avenue of conversation with him, and other people that may not be a part of your life might open up to you to help you through his grace and his favor is all we can do. Other than that, avoid the ones that seem to be wicked. Hopefully your discernment spirit is working within you to decipher the types of people to avoid. Thank you all for listening. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for agreeing with me, Michael. Not a lot of other people do. And I really appreciate everything for everybody participating in the chat room. It makes the live a lot better. But to close, please like the video. Please share the video. Please subscribe to my channel and bless up. Thank you all.